Spooky.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
We're going to talk about spooky stuff. Brains and
Trick or
stuff.
treat.
Boo.
Happy Halloween. Hello, Crosscut Cinema fans.
What was that?
Hello.
What was that snazzy new intro we just heard?
That royalty-free spooky music with us yelling over it like a bunch of babbling buffoons.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I really liked it. Why
It's
did we
gonna
do
be
that?
that same way every time.
It's Halloween.
But
for
we're not. We
4
don't have it
episodes,
pre-saved.
guys.
We're doing it live every time.
Are
every
we? I
single
love
time.
that.
No, we're not going to do it. But we're going to tell them that we're doing that.
I mean,
It
I
just
think they
sounds
know
the same
now.
every single time
single
somehow.
We're that
We're very consistent.
committed and consistent. If there's one thing we
There's a
have,
script.
it's consistency.
Is it?
No.
No.
We lack consistency very much so.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. We're better than some, I'm sure.
I'm sure that's.
There's got to be people worse than us about it.
I'm sure that could be said about many things.
All right, guys, it's that time of the year. It's that spooky time of the year in October, or I don't know. This could be like late September, probably October.
No, this will be October.
This will be October.
We hope so, but we've had moments where we're just talking about consistency 5 seconds ago.
I'm committed to it being October.
I'm covering all bases to make sure. We're gonna talk today about.
Wait, who are we?
Where
What do
are we
we do here?
We're Crosscut Cinema.
I'm waiting for other people to answer.
We're
Since
Crosscut
apparently
Cinema.
I don't
My
fucking
name is
know.
Madison.
I'm Bree.
I'm Frani.
I'm Svengoolie. No, just kidding. I'm Logan. Although I love Svengoolie, and that's my dream job. I want to dress up ridiculously, like Elvira and shit, and like introduce bad horror movies with like a funny like paint or mask
That sounds
on.
amazing.
That's what I want to do.
You should do that.
That's my
Yeah.
dream. So if you need somebody out there, let's say it's like public access, like generally like, like it's Channel 3 or whatever, and you need like a goofy guy, I'm there, baby.
nice.
I can be that. Me and Mass can be a team.
That would be fun.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
We could be a team. We could be like twins, but like, like where the twins aren't identical, but they're just a boy and a girl, like, in your family.
Or we could like
Fraternal?
Or we could like
I
each
didn't
do
remember
it.
the word, okay?
We
Is
could
it
be
fraternal?
twins, but like we could each do it in drag. So like I would be the boy twin and you could be the girl twin, and it would be very zany.
I feel like that will confuse people after the fact, which is why I really want to do it.
Yeah, I think that sounds
They'll
great.
be like, but wait, you're the... Shouldn't even be trying to identify nothing.
Right, don't
Welcome to
worry about
2020,
it.
bitch. Put your mask on.
Watch this weird
Put
movie.
your mask on.
Put your damn mask on.
Can you guys like
Put your
I can't
Halloween
wait.
mask on. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, but you cut me off. I was gonna say I can't wait to
she,
see all
said,
the
she said you cut me off. she suddenly,
Quit bouncing your leg.
stop.
she suddenly became like a British gentleman driving a car. Like, oi, mate, you cut me off.
You caught me. I was going to say the spooky stuff too, mate.
Have you ever heard of a fucking blinker?
I was gonna say I can't wait for all the Halloween masks.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have to wait. They're already out there. Spirit Halloween's up, baby. This started early this year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So here at Crosscut Cinema, we review movies and
Franny said, the bit is over now.
She said this can no longer go on.
we review movies and full spoiler reviews. So if you don't want these movies spoiled for you, watch them and then listen to us. We also are going to have timestamps in the description. If you're on YouTube, it's just in the description. If you're on any other platform, I believe there's ways we post it too.
Yeah, and if you're looking to watch these movies, which is Halloweentown and The Collector, you can watch Halloweentown on Disney Plus, or you can actually get it off of Amazon, I believe, for streaming, or you can buy the Blu-ray if you're crazy. I love buying Blu-rays. And if you want to watch
Halloweentown.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to watch The Collector, it's actually free on Vudu or Tubi, but you will see ads. Or you can go ahead and purchase the Blu-ray. I got it off of Amazon for like $10, and there's
Didn't
still
have
plenty
subtitles though.
there. Yeah, you're right. But the sequel did, which was weird. You know, Canadian Blu-rays, they don't give a fuck.
Or if you know us personally, check it out from our movie collection.
Yeah, if you're one of our friends who pretends to listen to the podcast, I will loan you the movie.
Got it.
But you'll
Pretty
never hear this anyway.
You'll miss this opportunity that's
Yeah.
been presented.
Oh,
to you.
also,
exactly.
shout out to our littlest fan who is being born like right around when this comes out. Who's
Hell
going to be
yeah.
repping
Hell
the
yeah.
first Crosscut merch.
Yeah, we'll
That's
do
so
a community
exciting.
post and show you guys the little onesie. It'll be
Cute as
fun.
fuck.
Yes.
Also, we're supposed to shout out someone from Twitter, yes?
Yes, we have a Twitter shout out.
Let's hold it till the end. We're like,
Let's wait
we're
until
going
the
to talk
end.
about
Okay,
movies,
cool.
not to talk
Yeah.
about whatever the fuck you were just going to talk about.
Sorry, I just wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
talk
right,
about.
person. If you want to hear your shout out,
Yeah,
you gotta watch.
We
till
need
the end,
retention
bitch.
time. You got to watch the whole fucking thing. We'll
Yes.
drop it somewhere in the middle. You got to figure out where this bitch is.
Yeah, you can't just skip around. Like you can't just skip to the end and be like, oh, they're gonna do
That's
it.
the one
No.
timestamp we won't post in the description, bitch. You got to figure
At
this
some
shit
point,
out.
you'll just get your shout out in
I
there.
think we really should like do it randomly.
we
at some
should.
Point.
But if
I
you
like
want a
that.
shout out, we'll have more info about it
We'll do
at
it
the
this
end of the
way.
podcast.
We'll do it this way. Bridget, at whatever point you feel, I want you to point at Franny at random, wherever in the podcast, and that's when we'll fucking do it.
I love
yeah.
that. Let's do it.
Bing,
I
bada
love
boom,
that too.
bada
I
bam.
like interrupt Madison as she's like in her thong.
Oh, you can use it perfectly. You could literally snipe a motherfucker. Just like I'm in the middle of something I'm really, really into.
'Cause everybody
There's
has to stop.
That's the rule. We'll have to stop. It doesn't matter
I just
when.
want to talk about how Bridget like very much was like not I can interrupt one of you, but I can interrupt Madison.
Well, if there's anybody
She's
who's
this-
hard to interrupt more than everybody else here, it's this lady
I know
down
I'm a
the
persistent motherfucker. I
this
just
lady
keep
down
talking.
the street. Even though they went, let me finish, and I'm like, but you interrupted me. Like literally, I'd be like talking, and then you'd interrupt, and I'm like, wait, and you no, let me finish. But that was
That's
my
actually
train of thought.
happened. I've seen it. I've witnessed it.
It was like, what the fuck?
I just think that Bridget's being really mean to me tonight.
I don't want to concur, but I'm not going to disagree.
He can
I'm
curse,
sorry.
ladies and gents.
I'm having I'm moody. I'm just in a moody night. It's
Too many naps.
yeah.
Too many
naps.
naps today.
I've had at least 2. So,
We're adults, y'all. This is what we do.
I mean, yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, so
Okay, so that's what we'll do then.
yeah,
I like that.
we'll
That's
just
fun.
randomly. Bridget's gonna be the deciding factor. She's gonna be sitting there and just point at Franny. We'll all just stop, dead stop, and then Franny will shout it out.
Yeah, whenever Bridget decides like the bit's not funny, she's just like, nope.
Or like even if the bit's great, like it's your house
It's your
now.
call. You got to do whatever you
I
want.
just feel like you're the perfect person to do it because you're so like the person who waits for other people, and like you don't have to do that this time. You're just gonna fucking
It's
point.
gonna be weird. I'm gonna
You're gonna be like,
feel
well,
also, like,
obligated.
Bridget
I
is
don't
to
know
wait.
if I want to point it.
Bridget's also like the least vindictive person in the room, so like I feel like one of us might be like somebody starts saying some shit we don't like, and they're
I
like,
don't
no.
I don't know
Oh,
that
yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
The quiet people are the most vindictive secretly.
maybe so. Maybe
Wow,
so.
she's on one tonight. Halloween's got her feeling spicy.
It does.
I'm the kind of vindictive where I don't realize it's vindictive till after the act has been assaulted. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, that was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
That
dick,
kinda
wasn't
mean.
it?
No, for sure.
Well, all right. It's too late now. I'm sorry. I usually say I'm sorry, but then like that didn't stop me from the next time I do it. I don't know. It's a sickness, I guess.
Like I don't know. I'm like that
You're
was
pretty.
mean.
You're pretty upfront about it.
Yeah, I know when I'm being mean. It's a choice.
Mm-hmm. Franny
For better
too.
or for worse.
Franny too.
Oh yeah. No, I love being mean.
Sometimes I don't notice I'm being mean, and
Yeah,
then I'm like, I'm
evidently.
in a mood. I don't know.
You know who else was mean? Calabar.
Calabar, he is mean.
Is that
Yeah.
spoilery? I don't think it's that spoilery.
Well, we said it was a full spoiler review.
yeah,
so.
but we're
It does
yeah,
not-
it's true. And also, like his name spelled differently is in the sequel. So
What?
in the subtitles, if you watch on Disney Plus, it spells Calabar with a C. You know, like it as if it's like a low green, like granola bar, like a Calabar. And then in the sequel, it's spelled with a K.
That's interesting.
I think that's
Hate
just
that.
the little effort. You know.
Yeah, the inconsistency.
I mean,
Did you trail off there?
I said the inconsistencies.
You went because
I'm very tired.
it's okay.
I was just thinking about too. One of my favorite moments in the movie where the little like the boy child says like, "Hey,
the boy child.
he is a boy.
He
like,
is a boy and he's a
like-
child.
He's just like, "Hey, chocolate bar," and it's like, zing,
Yes.
got him,
Got his ass.
got his ass.
You know, Calabar was like, "Oh fuck, that burns so bad."
motherfucker.
He's breaking out the ointment right then and there. Okay, so let's talk about Halloweentown. Franny, I feel like you have an affinity with this film, and I want you to go over what you want to say first. I
Yeah.
want to give you this option this time because I didn't know what Halloweentown really was.
You'd never seen
Really?
Halloweentown?
No, I had seen it, but I didn't know, like, I had seen it, but it's also, like, it's like, kind of blended together with the other Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah,
That's
Because,
fair.
like, I love Phantom of the Megaplex. I
Yeah.
think that movie, the old man in that movie's me. Like, the old man who's like, enjoy the magic of cinema. Like, that's me. And I knew that back then. So I related
I
to
love
that
that.
movie.
This is definitely one of my childhood favorites.
I just want to say this before you go, though. You looked Exactly.
That's what I was gonna get into.
I mean, like, holy shit, exactly like
Marnie.
the Marnie girl. I mean, like,
No, to a T.
let's post a picture in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
A picture of baby
It's
Franny.
literally
Yeah.
I love
like,
that.
dead on.
To
That's
a T.
crazy.
Bangs and all.
Everything. The same face.
Weird
all of it.
outfits, all that.
That's great.
It's hoping you were a witch the whole time and that your family wasn't just disjointed and awful.
Yeah. But
Who?
no, I have a lot of love for this movie. It came out in 1998. It's a Disney Channel original.
The year of your birth.
The year of my birth, yeah. I watched
And
this.
mine.
Oh, look at us.
Birth year
cuties.
twins.
I was like doing shit. I was making mud pies.
I was doing whatever 2-year-olds do. I don't know.
But yeah,
Signing up for eHarmony.
Shut up. This is a story for another.
this one what always played without fail on the Disney Channel every Halloween. It's about a girl. Her name's Marnie, and it's about her and her siblings. They kind of live like a normal life with their mom and everything, but like their mom never lets them celebrate Halloween. And Marnie's 13, so she's like, "But I want to celebrate Halloween, Mom." And so, but their grandma comes in town every year for Halloween, and like she's super into it and everything. And Marnie overhears a conversation when she's supposed to be in bed about like how she's a witch and everything. So her and her siblings follow her grandma.
Played by
onto-
Debbie Reynolds.
Yes.
Brilliantly. I love
Yeah,
Debbie
it's
Reynolds.
amazing.
Carrie Fisher's mom is still like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of like had a dream that like the mother character. This was after we watched it because I was very out of it. We watched it and I was like, wouldn't it be great if the mother character was played by Carrie Fisher? Because she actually looks more like the children
Yeah.
than the actual mother did.
Oh, yeah.
And the mother
She really
didn't
does.
do shit for me.
Right.
That mother was boring. Even like
You called her
character-wise.
hot when we were
Oh, no,
watching
no.
it.
Don't get me wrong.
Like she was
Bulldoze
attractive.
any day of the week. I'm just saying she wasn't a great actress.
Yeah, I mean, she was just kind of like the whole time, like, my kids will be normal.
Yeah. That's basically the plot of the movie. They follow they follow their grandma on this bus that takes them to like this town called Halloweentown, and they'd already heard of it through a book that their grandma read to them as their bedtime story. Basically, the whole plot is their mom wanted them to live a normal life, and Marty's never really felt like she was normal, and her sister also shows like signs of being a witch and everything. So hijinks ensue, and they end up helping save the town of Halloweentown from this bad guy named Calabar.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I don't really know about this movie, and maybe you know this, maybe I'm just forgetting. Why did the mom like reject her magical upbringing? Is there a reason, or was
Because
she
she
just
fell
like,
in love with the man who was normal, and she like
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
the
she
human
like
man.
felt an affinity closer to like human life,
And it's
and
also
found it to
kind
be less
of
complicated.
okay.
yeah, and it's also kind of like frowned upon from what they make it seem like, that like
Yeah.
she went and had kids with a normal man and everything.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. And she wanted the kids to
Racism.
grow up normal. Okay,
Uh-huh.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. I wasn't super clear on that. I was like, maybe I just missed it in the movie, but
No,
okay.
no.
No, I mean, like it wasn't quite like exposed there, but it was still there.
You said the storybook, and she read him to it. The book had like 2 words. It was like entirely
know,
pictures.
It
yeah.
was like, this is Halloweentown.
It was like, this is what you'll be seeing soon. This is literally you on the fucking page.
And they're
I know,
like, "Oh
when
my
Marty was
God.
on the page. That
It's
was
you,
cute.
Marty. And Madison was like,
Marty, it's just Marty Scorsese.
I
It's you,
I
Marty.
literally thought she was called Marty for like the longest time when I was a kid. Every time I watched this movie, I thought it was fucking Marty.
That's so
and we
funny.
watched it the other day, a couple days ago, and I was like, oh my God, it's Marnie.
I
The
love it.
subtitles were on. I was like, what the fuck?
It's Marnie.
They recast that bitch later on.
They
did.
do. She's not hot enough.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Doesn't
Fucked
she
up.
end up like getting with that one guy with the funny face?
I think so.
I don't think so, actually.
I don't know.
He's like a total cuck, right?
I don't
know.
remember.
At the end, it sort of seems like they're gonna like get together. I don't know. It's not.
I
super
meant
clear.
like
I don't
in the-
remember
in
too
the
much.
series?
I remember Halloweentown High, like that one. That's about all I remember.
There's a one in the middle with Calabar's kid, right?
I think
I don't
so.
remember
have no
Calabar's
idea.
kid, dude.
I think he's
honestly, like the Halloweentown movies were not really my like go-to.
yeah, me either.
Disney
They were
Halloween
mine.
movies. I like Twitches.
Twitches
That's
was so
a good one.
But the thing with Halloweentown is it has a huge fan base.
I know
mean,
people
yeah.
love
people
Halloweentown.
love this shit. They like put it on like the Hocus Pocus level of like Disney Halloween movies.
Oh,
And I'm
for
like,
sure.
They
I
really
think
do.
And I don't super understand that. Like, I think it's like a fun movie.
I think it's because
And
like
if you have your nostalgia for it, I get that. But
it's the entry point, you know? Like they're
Yeah.
all kids and the kids are doing something cool and like you're a fucking kid. You're like, I could be cool.
yeah.
Right.
Marnie's not a kid. She's 13. She's basically an adult.
Oh yeah.
She can make her own decisions.
All of us individually watched this movie and all people, well, except for like we broke off into groups. Both groups had the independent idea to write down the quotes of this film. And I
Yes.
wonder how many of our quotes all match up.
Okay, so Franny, I'd like you to read yours and then I'll read mine and we'll see how many we match.
I'll read some of my highlights. I'm 13. I'm basically an adult.
That was
Is that on yours?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my first one.
I think I'm a big pimple.
Did you guys have
I
that?
didn't have that one.
No.
We wrote down that they made a totally age appropriate Jerry Springer joke.
I remember that.
Are you cooking some chowder, Grandma? As she's making the fucking
Potion. Like it's clear
Yeah.
water, like it's green. It's like, that's some chowder?
She's like, I really like some fucking chowder, Grandma. I think she was just saying that she was hungry. I don't know.
Witches don't drive minivans.
No, they don't.
The best one though is the one where Calabar shoots Debbie Reynolds' character, and she's trying to convince the kids to go, and she's like, "Go, don't worry about me. It's just an evil spell that freezes us.
Yes,
don't worry. It's not a big deal
I was
at all."
just about to.
That's the one that stuck with me. Don't worry. It's just an evil spell.
Yeah.
That's all. Don't fucking sweat it, dude. Fucking hangnail.
Just because you can see through us doesn't mean we don't have feelings.
In reference to a ghost.
Yeah.
yeah.
You put that broom down right now, young lady, or you are grounded.
And then she does.
Also, I want to say that like that is the straw. She's like, I'm gonna stay in Halloweentown. I'm gonna be a witch. Like, and then she's like, no, you'll be grounded. And she's like, God fucking damn it. And like he decides it's not worth it. I'd be like,
this
okay,
is
I'll
a
be
good one.
grounded.
This is a good one. Oh, that Luke dude has turned into such a wiener.
I have that one. He's turned into such a wiener.
And then later they call him Wiener Boy.
Yeah, I have that on there too.
Let's see here.
It's later they say grandma's going somewhere with the wiener dude.
Yes, I remember that.
It's a great moment.
Oh, this is a good one. What's with the third degree? Get in the cab. It's like, oh no. If kids understood what he was really asking
How about
there.
when they fucking pulled the fang out of that?
And it's
vampire?
just a
Oh my
black tooth that's just been
God.
colored in.
Yeah, this movie was never supposed to be seen on 4K TV.
The way I feel about this movie, it's kind of like if you went to like an elementary school's production of like a Halloween play.
Yes.
Everybody in
Yes.
it looks like they've been slapped together like a few minutes before they
Right.
put on screen. Everything just looks really fucking ridiculous. And apparently that doesn't hold throughout the whole series. They start looking better and better.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that is the
Also,
case.
I have some quotes you didn't have that I would like to share as well.
Yes,
My favorite
please.
is, "Hey, look, I'm a potato." And then I really liked "A place where many different people get along all together." And then the voice just says, "Like Cleveland."
Oh yeah, she had that
was
too.
hilarious.
I
That
had
was
just
so funny.
like Cleveland, and I didn't remember what the rest of the quote was.
And then Wiener Dude at some point says, "I'm something of a big cheese around here." and then,
and
she
then
tells
he
him that like a
responds-
cheese, like he stinks.
Yeah.
And he also says, he has the best quotes, I think. He also says, "If you people were smart, you'd be nice to me." Which, like, yeah. And then also there's a point where Marnie is trying to concoct this potion and she has to say a spell over it.
Oh my
and
god.
she says, "I have trouble remembering agua."
Also,
it's just
like the
hilarious.
spells where he like there's flowers and like the person turns into flowers and it's like
Yeah.
Okay,
what the fuck are we looking at right now? Like that slowed the person down for some reason.
Also,
I really
like,
hated-
Ari Aster was inspired.
Yeah, Ari Aster for sure.
I really hated how they, like, for the spells, just spoke gibberish.
But sometimes not, though.
yeah, I know. I really
But
hated
when they were
it.
dealing with like the weird thing that they're gonna put inside the jack-o'-lantern, like skip it, dip it, dip it, ba. They sounded like they were scanning like skip ba ba. Like
It
you know,
reminds, like, honestly,
the
plot of this
subtitles were just
movie-
like. Pss, 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 pss.
Yeah. Honestly, it reminds me, this movie, like the plot of it reminds me of an elaborate pretend game that I used to play with my siblings, which was heavily Wizards of Waverly Place inspired.
Love that.
What's
but like
that?
it was, we would play wizards and we would be wizards.
What's Wizards? What is that?
Was it to
What do you
Waverly
mean?
Place?
That's where Selena
You don't know what
Gomez
Wizards
got
of
her
Waverly
career
Place is?
from.
Oh, it's like a
I
Disney
mean,
Channel thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
I mean, I don't know
fuck
if
is
it was
wrong
her
with you?
career. She was on fucking, what was it, Barney?
Yeah, but I mean, she really
Barney
blew
doesn't
up
give
for-
you a career.
Franny used to
I
think
mean,
she
it
was on
helps.
Barney. Fun fact.
Oh God, we don't need to get into
what?
that.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I'll get into that.
We don't get into that on second thought. Let's get into that.
So my mother did one of those things where you send in a photo of your kid, and like they make a Barney like VHS that
Yeah.
like has your photo in it as like one of the characters. And she tried to convince me I was on Barney, and I just didn't remember it.
Oh God.
What?
That's not a manipulation at all. Anyway,
But yeah, it's very much like the plot of like this game that we would play where we were all wizards and we would have like, because we had a really big backyard and we'd have like sticks for our wands and we'd wave them and we would say nonsense words for our like little spells and then things would happen. And it was a very elaborate like long story. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I think a great movie would be,
Wasn't
Just
Bridget
bones
the
Bridget's
fucking...
mic stand.
or maybe a
It
great
wasn't me that
short.
readjusted the mic this time.
A great short would be if like you were doing that as a kid and then something worked.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That'd be a great short.
But
would
yeah,
be.
it was
It'd be fun.
it was heavily like Wizards of Waverly Place inspired, but then also Harry Potter inspired because there was like a dark force that was like we had to battle it all the time. It was very elaborate. Always been a
That's
storyteller.
so cute.
So yeah, but the plot of this movie reminds
What
me.
was that? You said...
I'm sure someone took inspiration somewhere.
Oh no,
So-
I'm sure, but like the plot of this movie just reminds me of that so much. It's hilarious.
So good. Old
And like this
childhood
wasn't even
memories.
one of like the movies that we watched all the time, but it's just funny.
I remember there's like a meme character out there in the universe of the Halloweentown series, and I was expecting to see him. It's this very grumpy man who, when people lose their stuff, like it comes to his house.
Yes.
I was waiting this whole movie, like, when is he coming? Because he's like the
I think he's in a
best
later...
character.
He's in a
I
later
loved him.
In
I
a
love
different
all
movie?
of the memes I've seen of this man, where like he gets turned boring at one point, and he's like checking for the other pairs of his socks and stuff. I love that.
I remember that so vividly, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was waiting for. That I was like, is that not this movie? And I looked up, I'm like, oh, it's later. Okay, well,
I think it's in the second or the third.
surprise, there's development here, but there is.
Yeah. There is development.
And like, oh, go ahead.
I was completely gonna change the subject and just say a random thought I had during the movie. The little girl character, like Marnie's younger sister, looks
Soapy.
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 Sophie. They call him Soapy. Can I?
She looks just like Matilda, like dead on.
Didn't we say
Also,
that,
very
though?
Matilda energies from her
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Madison and I said that.
I wanted to say, like, too, I was thinking about the thing you said about, like, the background characters, how everybody just looks slapped together. Like,
Yeah.
that was probably one of my favorite things about watching this movie was just watching the people in the background who looked absolutely ridiculous. It looked like what they did was, like, for costuming, it looks like they, like, raided a Spirit Halloween store.
They really just did,
And then they
though.
separated it into piles. Like, okay, we've got masks here, we've got shirts here, we've got pants here. And they were just like, go wild, guys.
All right. I don't want to dip too much into the second movie, but we have to say
Okay.
this. So the idea is, obviously, at the end of this movie, Calabar gets fucking spanked. It's factual. He gets spanked out. He's done. He's done for good.
Good. Yeah, he gets
Fuck
blessed.
them.
He gets sent to like a fucking other dimension or some shit.
Also, like, am I wrong, or is his whole purpose for wanting to like make Halloweentown evil and rule the mortal world?
It's 'cause he misses
Is it
that
because
bitch, yeah.
that bitch wouldn't fuck him? Okay, I
absolutely.
thought
Yes,
so.
correct.
I just want to make sure I was clear on that.
yeah, because he kind of says it, and then
It's like, I could have had your children or something.
that didn't stop him from like making a child though, because there's a child
Right.
who is pretending to be a normal
Oh,
human in the
also-
sequel, and you know what his name is? Do you know what this child's name is?
What is
What?
it?
What?
Cal. Is it really that fucking hard to figure?
It's like
Will
Ben.
Ben's son, bitch. Still the funniest
That's
fucking
hilarious.
moment of that podcast.
But speaking
Hey,
of another
that-
podcast we did, remember Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase when you all were making fun of me? What's happening?
Bop. Sorry, it was just really because I saw you like react to it like as if like it flew at you,
Came out of nowhere.
as if it like came at you like it isn't in front of your fucking face. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
But
I
in
love
Scooby-Doo
that.
and the Cyber Chase, you all were making fun of me because I was like, oh, I'm calling it. It's this guy. Bridget at some point during this movie looked at me and she's like, I think Calabar's like the guy behind all this.
I said it the moment they met him though too.
Still.
Wow.
Because like one of the first things he says is very ominously, I have big plans for all of us here in Halloweentown.
Also, like, he's just he pulls a lollipop out of his ear. Like, I don't want him around
Like,
me.
ew, I don't want your earwax lollipop. That's gross.
He buys children cabs. Like, that's what the
What, you
fuck
never
is
bought
wrong?
a kid a cab?
No.
You never put a kid in a cab and like
Listen,
go.
unless I'm a foster parent who wants to adopt Annie, I'm not buying any cabs for kids. Okay, that's really fucking weird. That's weirder than everything else.
He wants to fuck
It's
their
weirder than
mom.
the fact that it's a skeleton driving. A man's just like, I'll get you a cab, children I don't know.
Well, he knew their mom.
Me calling the kid on the street an Uber.
On pure faith, he accepted that was the children.
You
So these people are magical. They can't make a fucking phone call. He's like, let me blindly send you off with this.
Well, I think they ask
skeleton
and he's like, it doesn't work that way.
But okay, they're magic. Are you telling me there's no easier way of figuring out how to get a hold of Debbie Reynolds' character than just sending children off with a living skeleton in a cab? There's no other
Well, I
better
don't
way.
think the living skeleton is a weird part because everybody is.
No, I know, but it's for emphasis.
Yeah, but no, I mean,
It's to really highlight the situation at hand.
I mean, I came from a small town, and that's a very small town thing to do. And I
what?
feel like
so you in your
Halloweentown.
small town, you would be on the street talking to some random like authority figure.
100%.
And you'd be like, I don't know where my mom's at. You'd be like, let me call you a cab.
Yeah, let me call you a cab.
Let me
Somebody-
get you a taxi.
Shit like that happens, or they just drive you home themselves.
As somebody
What?
from a small town, that's
Here's the
never
thing.
happened to me.
He ordered the cab. Motherfucker didn't even pay. Benny was just a nice guy and was like, your human dollars are no good here. Don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, because they're like, how much do we owe you? Like, I feel like customarily, if you're the one calling a person a cab, especially
You
if
pay
these
for the
people are
fucking cab.
children, you're paying for
Right.
the cab.
But Calabar's too busy being the mayor of the town. Someone with all the resources imaginable. And he's like, I guess they'll just send these kids blindly up to this house. Assuming that they're telling the truth, that they're actually the grandchildren, not just some kids. Very
Yeah,
odd
I mean,
decisions made.
he's very sketch. He's a
Very.
very sketch person.
also, like
like how
like that's so Spider-Man like pointing
Pointing
over.
beam.
like what did they ask for their grandma? Is that how they knew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason, my
We
brain
lost
was
our
like,
we got shuffled on the bus, and our grandmother is so fucking irresponsible. She decided to just go home instead of look for us, and he believed that. He was like, "All right, fair enough."
right.
That's what fucking happened. Like that's what
Yeah.
happened.
But,
Not
like-
to tear this movie apart, but like that concept is absolutely bonkers. That's fucking
Correct.
knuckin' futs, dude.
I mean, honestly, like if I tried to go to my elected official because I was lost in my city without my guardian, they probably would be like, I don't know, call an Uber.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know though.
Then
Not
we
if
made
you're
the streetcar free.
not if you're 7. Not if you're 7 years old.
Yeah.
That little soapy girl was 7
Very
years
true,
old.
very true.
Soapy.
Little soapy, yeah.
Little soapy.
That's when I knew he was a dick. When he was like, "I'm not even gonna try to learn your name, little bitch. You're a product of the woman that I wanted to fuck."
Right.
But also, like,
You could have been my spawn.
they were just like, yeah, my grandma. We're following my grandma here. How did he know which grandma?
No, I know
No,
they said
they
it.
say
They say?
they're like
Okay.
Spapeggy or whatever her name is.
It's
I can't
Aggie.
Aggie. there you go.
Aggie, that's right. Okay.
Agatha.
I just couldn't remember. I'm like, my brain, it's late.
But their excuse of like, oh, she lost us in the shuffle and decided to leave us in a place we've never been before, surrounded by monsters.
Literal monsters.
Something I've always been told, and this is a good tip for the kids or people who travel in large
I
groups.
feel like you're staring
If you
through me
ever-
right now. I just wanted to say
No,
that.
I'm not. But if you ever get lost, just stay right where you're at, baby.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
go
what I
anywhere
do.
else. You just stay. You plant your feet. You stay right there. They'll
Yeah.
come back for you, dude.
They,
Or that you would hope.
And if not, like, you'll be that person in that town where the person just stayed there for years and years,
Yeah, waiting for
occasionally
you,
getting
motherfucker.
fed by strangers.
like in that, the song, The Man That Can't Be Moved, that song.
I don't know that
It's-
song.
Oh, I know that song.
It's about a man who can't be moved.
He can be
Literally.
moved?
I just think of that dog from Futurama that waited for him,
Oh.
which makes me cry. Okay.
Also, I have a fun story about getting actually like lost
Oh God.
away from your parents. One time I was in a Walmart with my father, and this is the Walmart where he and my mother both worked. And I was looking at something, and he just walked away because I wasn't paying attention.
That's what you have to do with Bridget in the store, honestly.
Just start walking away.
Yeah, well, like you have an agenda, and Bridget's like, let me inspect this item, and I'm like, let's go.
But
Bridget is like, Bridget's a slow grocery store walker. I have to call you out. You walk really slow in the grocery store.
Franny
You're
cannot
right.
pick a fucking speech. She's either so slow or like I literally have to run.
I hate when people,
And it
I
changes
hate
on a
when
dime.
people walk really slow in the grocery store because they're like looking at shit. Like, no, do not do that.
Don't shop.
Don't get in my way. People walk really slow in the
Don't
grocery
look at the
store and it
products.
drives me insane.
Well, it's better than what Franny does, where she'll fucking whole ass run out of there and you won't be able to find her. And she's like, where were you? I'm like, I don't know, fucking catching my breath,
I don't
maybe.
run, but it's a brisk speed. Like I don't want to be in there forever.
This woman runs.
I do.
She's been stopped before. Like, is everything okay? She's like, yeah.
I gotta go fast, okay?
Oh my god.
Or she's like so slow that like I'm literally like the front of my feet are accidentally hitting the cart wheels all the time. I'm like, fuck
Yep.
me.
You
God
know,
damn
I keep it interesting.
you
But
know
anyway,
what?
you
She
got lost
does.
in this Walmart.
Yeah, and also I want to point out that this is like the smallest Walmart in America. And
Literally?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got to Google search to do while you tell this story.
But my dad walked away from me because he thought I was following, and I wasn't. I was looking at some shit. I was like, also, I was 4 at the time. I was like 3 or 4, and I had been told to stay put if you got lost, but I threw that advice out the window.
You
and
panicked.
It's
I
in
panicked.
Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and I just
It's
started.
haunted.
Wow.
Aw. And I just like started wandering around looking for my father, crying.
Oh.
And these 2 nice ladies were like, did you lose your dad? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, go to the front desk. And I did. And they had to page him. And he was pissed. He was like, I told you to come on.
Not to keep interrupting you, but this Walmart is smaller than like a Dollar Tree.
Wow.
It's really small.
What?
Yeah, I'm just reading about it. And now we're done with it. Forever.
Yeah.
We'll never look back at that Walmart.
I might. I don't know what you.
I'm gonna stop you. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm just like take your phone. Like, you're not looking at that. Because you'll get lost in the fucking smallest Walmart.
I would.
It's
You
really
would.
funny. I feel like you were a kid that got lost a lot.
I was.
What about when you were just walking around and just passed out in the middle of Indiana?
We're not talking about
Got
that
lost
right
a lot.
now.
We'll get to that.
That
We used
happened.
to-
That happened at least once.
My dad, when we were kids, used to always take us to this amusement park that is really close to where we live, and we had like season passes and stuff, and it was pretty cheap. And but we always went with the 3 of us, me and my 2 siblings, and then my brother's really good friend and my really good friend. And my dad would always say, like, there's one rule, and that is to stay with the group. And then we would always add that no, there are 2 rules: it's stay with the group and don't be gay.
Man, you're breaking all these rules out
I
here.
know. I was being homophobic, but I was allowed then. I just didn't know it. I'm just kidding. I never meant it, kids. I was always all right if
I
something
mean,
was
they're
gay.
kids.
Yeah. But anyway, it was always stay with the group and don't be gay. And I swear to God, little Dylan motherfucker always
Was gay?
no, not that I'm aware, but he always got lost, and we never could find him.
And
Terrible.
you were always gay.
And I was always gay.
My dad
Wow.
lost my sister at Indiana Beach.
Yeah.
And as a result,
Oh,
he
no.
treated me like Liam Neeson and Taken. Tell me where she is! Listen up! Because I was like the kid. Apparently, I was a leash kid. I didn't know that
Oh
until
my
recently.
God.
But I would just see something at Indiana Beach and be like, that's awesome. Let me run full speed at it.
It's hilarious.
But they were so on it with me that, like, my sister, who is the same as I, we are one and the same, went off and got lost as well. And then, like, apparently, like, hunkered down at a Dippin' Dot stand and cried for like 2 hours.
I love that.
Like,
She was gone that long.
yeah, we
Really
couldn't
long
find her.
time.
There were literally people looking for her.
Oh my
like,
God.
And my dad's like, tell me where she is. Where's the trigger? Like, it was like
That's
Batmaning me.
hilarious.
And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know at all. You should have put a leash on her too. Like, I had like the one of the little wrist ones, and I was hooked up to Pam. Oh, Pam.
Losing my
The
shit.
fact that it was Pam that you were hooked to.
Yeah, I
is
know. Like,
hilarious.
we couldn't both just get lost, you know? Oh, and one time at Indiana Beach, this is true. This is more just cringe, but I need to say it now or I'll think about it forever. So I was waiting in line at the Tilt-A-Whirl with my girly friend,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
trying to be cool and emo.
On the tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're waiting in line, and I'm wearing trip pants, right?
Nice.
Somebody who I assume was either sick or like late for something or whatever was like running off the ride, bumped into me, and my trow dropped.
Oh no.
To make matters worse, I was out of clean laundry other than these tidy whities I had.
Oh no!
So I was literally a boy. Like I was metal as fuck from the top, toddler to the bottom. And the worst part is, dude, the one who, because it was like I was like just done swimming, and that my body feels weird because it's hot as fuck when we were done swimming. I didn't realize right away. I felt my pants reach back around my waist because my girlfriend lifted them up and put them on me.
That's so funny.
She then smacked me on the ass and said, "Nice underwear."
That's so
Oh my
adorable.
god!
So many people were staring.
I love that.
bet.
That's amazing.
So upset.
That's
So upset. And then this one, actually, I got
A
one more
whole
pants
lot.
story. Landon, if you're out there, you'll know this one because the whole time we were, depression. I'm like, we're at the Kalahari like hotel, which is like it's like a water park and a hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
know
been
what
there.
it is.
And I'm emo in 8th grade, so I just keep talking about how I don't want to live the whole time. So I'm pretty much ruining this trip.
Right.
Like,
Wow. Lots
wow.
of fun.
He
That was
said-
me in 8th grade too.
He said like he renamed the lazy river to the sad river because I just spent a lot of time there.
Honestly, like
just emo on a lazy river
Dude,
this whole
honestly, like you can have a really good depression spiral in a lazy river.
You
I'm not
really
even gonna
can.
lie. You can really.
Well,
like,
the worst part is that I was also a big boy, so like when people usually come up through the inner tube, I had to plop and sit down in it because there's no way my thick body is
Hey,
going through
you know
a donut.
what? There's no shame in that game. I have to do the same thing.
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't give a fuck, but I did, but just about everything. I gave a fuck about everything.
Right.
But there's this
The
moment
best
where
way to do it is to start on the steps, and then you just gotta, and then you're in there.
yeah, I would literally like lay it where I was, have somebody
Yeah.
hold it, and just fall backwards into
That's what
it.
you gotta do, dude.
I
But,
love that.
Yeah, one time we splashed this lady. It was really funny. There's a lot of stories with. Okay, let me get to this part though. I'm not gonna just tell all these.
I'm enjoying this.
The
I'm-
Kalahari stories are vast. I was there for a week and so much happened. So at one point there's like a boogie board situation, right? And it's like a surfing simulator, but it's got real water at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot my swimming trunks at home. So and we bought
So
new
you were
ones.
there for a week and you didn't have swimming.
No. We bought new ones after this. Landon had a
Okay,
spare
okay,
pair,
okay.
but Landon was a beast of a boy. He looked like a 40-year-old man when he was 13. And so I had his adult swimming trunks on. And I go to surf, and the swimming trunks come right off, and my dick and balls just right out.
Oh my god.
Flaccid, childlike, hugest bush you've ever seen. Out in front of all these people. The worst part, guys. The really, I mean, like, so cute. It looked like she was planted by Hollywood. This so cute person who was running the ride hands me my trunks, and no one, including Landon, says a fucking thing. Not one
Landon, no.
thing. Not one thing about it. Never, ever. He didn't mention it till like last year.
I
That's
mean, it's one
insane.
of those things you don't talk about.
It would have felt so much better if somebody was like, "Well, nice dick and balls, son," or like something to make it. Wow.
Like you wanted a compliment?
No, not a compliment, but just like, "Hey, man, that happens. Sometimes they go into the wind." Like anything.
You wanted
And by
somebody
the
to
way,
make you feel better.
it really hurt because the water pressure just
bet it
slapped
did.
those
Right, yeah.
puppies. It hit me like
Oh,
one of those
no.
tiny bags in Rocky. Ba, 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 ba.
bet
So
it
it really
did.
fucking hurt.
I bet.
And then to make matters worse, the next day we're in the wave pool.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
the wave pool.
Fun fact: when you're really depressed, you don't try very hard to swim.
You're just like whatever. I'll drown.
Definitely
I-
just let the waves take me before.
But this is what
Same.
happens. Landon finds the inner tube and he's like, just lay in the inner tube and be sad and whatever. I'm like, all right, cool.
I love that
Like,
because I know
I
the
want that
situation.
tattooed.
So
I love that you went with Landon's family. I'm presuming to
dude,
this trip.
just us and his mom. And his mom like loves me, but like his dad definitely loves me more. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
you just went and
his
were
mom
sad
loves
the
me
whole
out of
time.
necessity.
I love going on vacation with friends. It's amazing and hilarious.
So I'm in the wave pool, and my inner tube goes too far toward the deep end. And there's like fake rocks, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And my inner tube gets caught between the two fake rocks, and I flip into the water.
No.
And I start to drown. And the largest, most beautiful black woman, I mean, the largest woman I've ever seen in my whole life, grabs me by my head as I'm drowning and screams, "This white boy's gonna die!" And they stop the fucking wave pool, drag me out,
Oh my god.
and then make me go to like the little nursing area.
God.
To which, because I was emo, I started talking about my depression, and they go, "This isn't the place for that."
You need a different kind of medical attention.
Oh my god. They really said this.
That is so funny.
I swear. And that's not, you know what? I'll tell more Call Horror stories another time because we're just going off and off and off.
Honestly, like going on vacation with other people's families are like the most awkward experiences and the most amazing you can ever have.
But what if we went on vacation to Halloweentown? Trying to recircle it back
Like-
to what we were talking about.
I just want to say, like, this just makes me think about my vacation stories. Like, I would go on vacation, like, I've been a few times with my good friend who is mixed. So her mom is black and her dad is white. And so much people thought that, like, I was her father's child. And then they would, like, be like, who is this kid? I'd be like, no, I'm with them. And then, like, I went to her mom's side's family reunion, and, like, me and her dad were, like, the sole white people in the room. It was just amazing. And then, like, so many
I would love to
times
see
that we
you
would
in a
always-
group of black people celebrating the fact they're all related, and you're just standing there.
It was actually really fun. It was a very good
for
time.
sure,
They were
for
very
sure.
welcoming to me, and the food was great.
Oh, I bet. I fucking bet.
It was really good. It was a lot of fun. We were in Panama City Beach. It was a good time.
That sounds amazing.
And her grandma, like, I still see her grandma every now and again. She's always like, "Hi, Madison." I'm like, "Hey." Like, we had an experience together. We went on a vacation.
See, Landon's mom, she still loves me.
Yeah.
But any chance of like me like having a conversation where she doesn't bring up some of the ridiculous things I did is 0%, y'all.
It's just like that.
Like at one point, I like drank a shit ton of Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah.
And then I got up in the middle of the night and I was so tired because of like the long trip we had. I tried to make it to the bathroom and just peed all over their white carpet.
God.
Oh
And of course she's like, "You're 13. Why are you peeing all over the carpet?" And I'm just
What
like,
a good question.
I can't help you there. All I know is it happened.
Oh my God.
And you know, you're a kid, so you like try to lie and be like, I spilled Mountain Dew. And they're like, "Yeah,
No, you didn't.
Mountain Dew that smells like piss. Piss Dew? Is that what you spilled? Mountain piss all over the place?" And I'm like, I'm sorry. But they love me. I love them. But
And like so much
Yeah.
we would be on these vacations and like we would be in the South, right? And I mean obviously I'm white and she like people don't perceive her always as being mixed. Like people kind of think she's just like tan. And so like so many times we'd be hanging out with like people our age, like other like, you know, young high schoolers or whatever. And then all of a sudden it would just get like real racist.
Oh
And we would just be standing there like, I hear my mom calling me, like I have to go right now. Or like they would be like, "Oh, my dad's here," and she would like run over to him, and it would be like Nazi McConfederate fuck. Like,
Yeah.
be like, "Oh Lord, oh my God."
that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Other people's families
That was my phone dropping on my
are hilarious.
lap.
Oh man, Halloweentown.
That went to a weird place from Halloweentown.
It was, you know, it's just one of. And the thing is, I have so many more stories, but that's not what this is for.
Right.
That's not what this is for.
I think
I
we
wanna-
need to.
Go
What?
to the Kalahari Hotel.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. We should
Is
do
it
that.
still around?
I won a 2DS. Well, I should have won a 2DS. I was playing a claw game and I picked it up and everything. And then Landon's gorilla ass fucking came over and slapped the case and it. But he didn't know. He did the thing where he was coming up to do like the cool like sup, like hand on the wall fawn style, and he knocked the fucking thing out of the.
Oh God.
I also I knocked golf. We were playing mini golf in like the little shopping area because they had a little mini golf thing. I knocked into some lady's nachos.
Oh.
Wow.
It was a trip.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh,
It's time for the shout out I've been pointed at.
Ooh.
I don't know. It just
Okay.
seemed like your right place.
Our first shout out on Twitter. So how you get a shout out on Twitter is tweet at us at Crosscut Cinema.
You have to be following us.
It's just CrossCut Cinema.
It's just Crosscut Cinema on
Yeah.
Twitter. You have to be following us too. I will fucking check.
She's not playing around.
So our shout out is from Almus 5961240. And he said to shout him out as Harry as crack.
Nice.
Spelled AZCRAC. So shout out to you, Harry.
Thanks, Harry.
Thanks for
Harry.
listening.
Yes. Thanks for following us on Twitter. We appreciate you.
And everybody else needs to follow us on Twitter because what we'll do is we'll be very updated with what's coming out, as
we
well
will.
as you guys just want to check out extra things we're doing. You want to keep up with
Yeah.
us.
Or if you want a shout out.
Yeah, we'll
Or
have a
if
shout
you
out.
want to see movie-related memes,
Yeah,
occasionally.
we share memes. We share updates.
We're funny sometimes.
We share, like, you can get
Pet
info.
pictures.
Yeah, you can also get info about what's coming up on the podcast exclusive to Twitter before we even announce it here.
Because you guys want to be up to date so you can watch the movies.
Yeah.
That way you can listen to us talk about our vacations where my dong flew out.
Yeah.
You need to be updated
Right.
on Halloweentown in order to understand that story.
Yeah, you do. But before we leave Halloweentown behind,
Well, there's a couple things, but go ahead.
I do want to touch back to the special effects of this movie because I
Yes.
think they're
Oh,
hilarious and
boy.
amazing. Also, just the fact that this movie was never meant to be seen in the
HD. Never.
definition. Like, there is a moment, there's a lot of times when a character yells very dramatically, like, no! It happens a lot. And there's a specific scene toward the end of the movie when Calabar, that's his name?
Calabar,
yes.
yeah.
Calabar, whatever. Play D&D, and one of our character names in our party is Caradar, and I keep wanting to say that. Anyway. What?
Nothing. I'm
You
listening.
looked at me like you gave me a death stare.
You know, everybody thinks that I have these faces. It's just active listening is all.
Yeah, you're just like, tell me more. But I was like, I thought you were trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me what you
but anyway, Calabar like
last shit you gonna say.
tilts his head back to yell no, and I swear to God, I see a cavity on one of his molars, dude. It's hilarious.
She literally made me rewind, and we both
Yeah, I was like,
witnessed
pause
it.
that, Bridget. I just saw his cavities. He needs a dentist.
Also, like his weird mask thing, you know,
Yeah.
it looks probably like the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Like, because at points you can see his real neck, like underneath
Right.
it,
Ooh.
and it's just like you can see the microphone cord. You can see everything.
Yeah.
And the reason why that mask is so bad is because whenever he moves too quickly, it fucking jostled. You know,
Yes.
and it's just like I'm sure when it jostles, like, and then they had to fix it and pose it.
Right.
Yeah, every single time he moved around.
Also, just like the effects of the magic are amazing. Like their final like fight, it like they're like shooting these little orbs, but it like the orbs don't seem to touch anyone, but
No.
they are affected by them.
They're going, and they're like getting like they turn blue or some shit when they get shot. Like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" And then also she just dropped a stick into a pumpkin. Everybody's like,
And
yeah!
that was like what did it.
Woo! Like that could have been done
on
so
my
much
little,
sooner.
On my little TV as a kid, this movie looked great.
No, this movie.
bet it did,
I
yeah.
recommend this movie. This movie's so much fun. Like
Yeah,
I'm
this is
not.
a very
We're
good movie
hating
to
on
watch.
it in a real loving embrace kind of way.
Absolutely.
I think that this was one of the more fun movies we had to watch as like separate podcast homework.
Yeah, and I mean, and like in terms of
And next
Disney
year we'll
Channel-
do 2 and we'll all watch it together.
yeah, and in terms of like Disney Channel original Halloween movies, you could do worse than this.
Oh, definitely.
And this is a pretty fun one. This is a fun one to watch, I think.
There's a really scary one where it's like the kid has like a twin that was made in like an incubator. I remember watching it as a kid. It was really scary.
I don't remember
What?
that one. I remember Twitches, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Got something against got something against kids being made and
He said, got something that gets.
got something against me, huh?
No, I don't. It just was very weird because he didn't know.
Also, like, what a good scene in this movie is where they're collecting all of the ingredients and you get to meet all these, like,
Yeah.
zany monsters.
And the dog's
And there's
makeup is
this-
running.
But the best part about the werewolf, like, dog man is he's like a gay Austin Powers
Yeah,
the
he's like-
entire time for no
He
reason.
really is. He
Like, I
really
wrote that
fucking is.
in my notes. I was like, just everything the gay Austin Powers werewolf says.
And then like the whole ghost thing, like the whole ghost segment where he's like, he feels like he's being attacked. Like that's not a helpful stereotype. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's just like this fucking movie is
It's
ridiculous.
hilarious.
But and the vampire tooth and the tooth just colored in black. It's and also
Yeah.
like I do want to say though, the dentist in this is
Terrifying.
also
Yes.
a little anti-Semitic. Do we not think so?
No, a bit.
And then
A
Franny sends Landon a picture of this Jewish dentist and goes, "Is this you?"
Is Landon Jewish?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my
You know,
God, Franny.
sometimes they just have to be a little bit
What
of a
did he
bully
say
to
back? Can you read
Landon.
what he said back? Because I know he slapped back. I know he did. I know Landon. He don't take no shit. He'll slap back.
Good for you, Landon.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
He sent me a video of
Oh wait, maybe we should. No, never mind. I remember what it is now.
no.
Never mind. Nope. We'll talk about this off the podcast.
Okay,
I don't
that's
want.
fine.
I don't want to ruin the whole man's career. He came back and it was very savage and maybe a little over the top. Love you, buddy, but it's true.
All right. Well,
We don't want to say what it is.
No, we don't.
also like speaking of characters in this movie that are very strange to me, the Luke kid, the big cheese around here.
Yeah, the big cheese.
So like his whole motivation is the guy like turned him not ugly, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And he says to her like, you know, I could never get a girl like you. You didn't even want to go out with me when I was not ugly. And like assuming that it's about his looks. But like the first thing he does is be an asshole to her and be like, "You should be nice to me. I'm a big cheese around here. You want to go get some ice cream,
Because he's
bitch?"
trying to be cool, you know. He's trying to be
Yeah.
a
Right.
cool
And I'm
cat.
like, it's not the physicality, it's the personality.
I really hate the cuck brother. I want him to die.
I know he's the worst.
I hate him.
Wait,
He's beyond annoying.
say the quote about the quote that you have saved that was like directed to the brother. You didn't say.
What was it?
I don't remember. It was
If
in
she
your
knew, she
notes.
probably would've said it.
I think at some point they tell him that like, I don't know. Hold on.
And in like the following.
Oh yes, this is my favorite quote, and I can't believe I forgot to say it. So the little brother is like such a little dweeb, and he's like, "Mom is right about Halloween," and the girl just looks at him and she goes, "Halloween is cool, nature boy."
And he goes, "All I need is a good nature documentary."
Right.
Yeah, you
and,
know-
and it really evokes the Vine, which is "Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?"
He's the
It
kind
just
of,
it evokes that for me, and I love it.
he's the kind of guy that like wears like pleated pants and like never bends his knee to tie his shoes. You know what I mean? Like the legs straight.
Right.
Like that's who that is.
He's so annoying.
And I hate him. I want to.
He's such a fucking kiss ass too.
He's a child, and I felt that.
He's such a kiss ass. Like everything, like he's like, "Oh, I'm independent," but then mom says something. He's like,
"It's Mom."
He's like,
He's like,
Her
it's Mom. We
asshole.
can't say that. It's like, dude, grow a fucking pair, bro.
"Right, dude, your mom's an adult woman. She can handle it."
Yeah.
Or like he'll be like, "Yeah, this Halloween stuff is really cool," and his mom will suddenly appear, and he's like, "I mean, really lame, right, mommy?"
Yeah, Mom. Don't we both hate it? It's like, no, this is very Carlton-esque.
Yeah, I know he's really annoying, but like he has none of Carlton's charm.
No.
You've related everything lately back to Fresh Prince.
I've been watching.
Fresh
I got
Prince.
a comfort show right now, and it's Fresh Prince, and I've been watching like crazy.
I love Fresh Prince. It's
It's
great.
been really great.
It's a great show.
It's so good. I love the sudden mother switch as well. And
Yeah, I know.
They hated that one lady so much. They made sure that the new Vivian had at least one more episode, which is so like, fuck you.
Huh. Yeah.
That way she's the primary Vivian.
I love that.
Okay. I think we've kind of.
Yeah, we've kind of talked about.
Who are we?
Oh.
I'm Marnie. I literally look like her. That's
I'll
my
give
character.
you that. You're literally
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll give
pretty
you
much
Marnie.
through and through. Are we all not? Are we all afraid?
I'm
No, I'm
thinking.
trying to think about who I am.
This is Sophie, for sure.
Yeah.
Got Sophie vibes.
Sophie
I was gonna
vibes.
say that, but then I was like, no,
I feel
Just
like
like
the big
cute and
pumpkin.
magical. You're the pumpkin.
I'm the big Jack.
I feel like I'm
Lantern.
Benny.
Who's Benny?
Oh no, what's his name again? The skeleton?
Oh, the cab driving skeleton?
Yeah, I'm him.
I was actually going to say that for myself.
No way. That's
No?
totally me, dude.
Then who am I? I don't know who I am in the scenario.
I'm the little brother.
You're not the little brother.
No.
You're Sophie.
I know. I was fucking around. I was just gonna keep saying ridiculous things.
I don't know
I
though.
don't know who I am
know.
here.
I know you're not. I'm definitely closer to that. But
I think
maybe,
that's probably true.
But like, who are you though?
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
like
know if you're in this one.
maybe like you're
You're
the
the-
mother. And I'm the grandmother, and we're just like arguing the whole time, or vice versa.
I
You're
think
the
I
wolf
would-
man.
I think I was going to say like maybe I'd be the grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I could see that. I could see that.
Just very like somebody tells me like don't do this thing and I'm like I'm going to do it anyway.
Like so, like oblivious and like doesn't care what anybody else is doing. Yeah, I'd say that's you.
I'm just here to advance my own agenda. Yeah.
No, actually, I'm the big cheese.
You're the big cheese around here, wiener boy.
Yeah. Okay, so what are our ratings?
It's really hard. It's hard to like. I feel like I want to say I feel like I've fully switched to numbers now. You guys have just
Wow.
It's like very strange. Like we've just been doing numbers because of like purposes of keeping track of our cumulatives. And now I'm just like thinking in numbers, and I don't like you've done that to me.
Well, I didn't do it to you. I think you should do whatever you want.
Yeah, but now I have to like think about things in terms of them.
I didn't do that to you.
I know,
you
but
did that to you.
I know. I'm just kidding. But I think in terms of like experience of watching this movie, like 9 out of 10. Content quality of this movie, like 4 out of 10.
That's actually not that bad either. For a TV movie, 4 out of 10 is really
I've
not
seen a
that
lot
bad.
worse.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I remember I saw
Like
one
for-
about girls that were hanging out with cows.
Oh my god!
oh my god, I love that one. Cowbells.
Cowbell.
That was amazing. Mary-Kate and Ashley.
It was not Mary-Kate and Ashley.
It
wasn't?
It was Ellie and
I go?
Ellie and
Ellie
AJ.
J.
I always get them
Ellie.
confused.
What did I say? Ellie.
My first concert was Aaron Carter, but my second concert was Allie and AJ.
Wait,
They
are
do-
they the potential breakup song?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do they do potential breakup song? That's
I-
it's a bop.
I fucking love that song.
I love it too.
I want to do like a death metal cover. That's my
That
plan.
would be
amazing.
amazing.
I love that you love that song, and then the other song that you love that you call your get hype song.
Oh, Bet on It. High school. No, I
Oh,
used to
yeah,
work
that's
out.
great.
To,
Yeah.
I used to work out to that song because it just gets the fucking
Bet on
Hold
it.
up.
Bet on it.
Gotta
bet
work on my
it,
swing.
bet on
Gotta
it.
do my own thing. Like you fucking start pumping iron to that shit, dude.
Hell
You're
yeah.
like, fuck yeah. That's where it's at.
But
That
yeah.
and Why Not by Hillary Duff, right? Isn't that who it's by?
Yeah.
Take a
I
crazy
used to have
chance.
I used to have a Hillary Duff CD, and it was my favorite thing. And
My sister had the Hillary Duff Christmas album
oh my god,
with the little Bow Wow blow down your. It's the best thing that's ever been made.
there's
it's the
a
best
good,
thing
the,
ever.
like I remember distinctly what my favorite song from that Hillary Duff album was, and I just can't remember what it's called. I could sing it right now, but we don't want that.
Well, I don't know if anybody's coming for the copyright of Hillary Duff songs.
Okay, it's like London, Paris, maybe
Maybe
Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
And something's going on anywhere I go tonight.
Wait, you're going to Tokyo and
tonight.
Paris in one night?
No, it's just anywhere.
I don't know if that's
Not
it.
all of them.
I'm not impressed by those lyrics whatsoever.
Whatever. It was
I
just
used
a
to love
bop.
that.
It was a bop though. I remember watching
Um,
the music video on
Radio
Disney.
Disney.
No, Disney Channel.
Nice.
It would occasionally play
Hell yeah.
between shows and stuff.
But yeah, I think like in terms of the plot, like this movie actually has like kind of a fun one, and it's silly, but it's fun, and it's fun to look at. It's like watching it in HD is like you see all the things that are wrong with it, but like if you imagine that you're watching this on Disney Channel in your like childhood living room on your like box TV, this movie looks great.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
It's very fun and very vivid.
the music is great. That's
Oh,
the one
yeah.
thing I wanted to mention before we forget. The music is actually great. Like it's not like a joke. It's actually really good music, and it sets an atmosphere very well while not being like too spooky for kids.
Yeah.
But there is some like ominous shit in there too. Like the whole score is actually really fun. I kind of like it.
I
Like,
agree.
I'd like to play it like on Halloween. You know, like when like background music. It's a lot
Yeah.
of
When
fun.
we hand out candy
There's
this
a-
year, we can do that.
There's a
That's
trap version I
happening.
found, and me and Franny were getting the fuck down. It
Hell
was
yeah,
so
I want to
good.
hear that.
I
Dude,
love
I'll play
that.
it on the break, dude. It's so good.
I'm gonna give this movie a 10 out of 10, baby. I just got that sweet nostalgia spot with it. I don't even care if there's problems with it. I love it.
I'm gonna rate the experience. Were you done? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh god, I could have interrupted her.
Just cries on the spot. The amount of times we've interrupted you, though.
Right.
I
Like
mean-
right now.
Like right now, yeah.
It's okay. I'm gonna rate the experience of watching an 8 out of 10. The movie itself, 4 out of 10.
Makes sense.
I'll say the experience is a 10 out of 10, especially in the way we experienced it. That was really great.
Yeah.
Everything felt awesome. I would say I'm gonna give it like a 5 out of 10. I think it's really good for what it tries to accomplish, and
Yeah.
the most important thing, which is very true with like all Disney Channel original movies, is like the plot was never confusing. Like for
Yeah.
some reason with Disney Channel original movies, they like do things that are like against themselves in the plot, like fuck it up, like up and
Yes,
away, for
yes.
example.
Yeah.
Like there's things that are happening in the plot that don't make any sense. Everything they do makes sense.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's something that's kind of incredible for a Disney Channel movie.
And it's a good plot too. They don't like I hate when kids movies don't treat kids like they're intelligent.
Like for instance, I saw Smart House once, right?
I love Smart House.
Smart
It's
House
a great movie.
is very messy.
Yes.
We have like one of those Google Home mini things, and I feel like I'm in Smart House, and I love it.
Those things scare me, and I'll never get one.
She said this in our entire relationship.
But like, there's moments in that
Thus
movie
far.
where it's like, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? The Halloweentown movie, totally understandable. It's all ridiculous, but it all made sense.
It keeps it simple. It doesn't try to do too much here.
Yeah. And for an hour and a half, it flies. Like, it's a full length feature.
Oh, yeah.
And it flies. Like, you're in and out.
just in it.
It's over. Like, you watch it and it's over, and it was a good time. Like, wow, that's an hour and a half we just burned. I don't like remember watching the other movies, but I know like over time we're gonna eventually see them all. I'm really excited to see if that stays, because I know like as soon as the second one hits, they're like all full blown teenagers / adults.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see how they still carry the like childishness, where they can't write it off as kids do this because they're kids. Like, how are they going to explain to me why Marnie, the almost adult, is doing this stupid ass shit when she's 16? When she's 13, it makes sense because she's fucking 13.
Right.
You and I, Bridget and me, we were dumb. We were 13. We were the dumbest people.
Dude.
The stories, we didn't even know each other, but we were on the same wavelength.
We
At
really
13,
were.
We were troubled children.
Yeah.
Franny, I don't even want to get into you're like the fucking ex-addict of 13-year-old actions. Like, you're the Tony Montana of 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
But in the newer movies, I wonder how they're going to explain that. And
guess we'll
use
see.
that. So we'll see. All right, cool. We're going to take a quick break.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk about The Collector.
Totally different vibe, y'all. Super
this
hardcore,
movie is
scary.
really gross and upsetting. So if you don't like things that are gross and upsetting, this is not the one for you.
All right, be right back, y'all.
Bye.
And we're back.
I feel like that was the longest pause we've ever
It
done.
always feels that long, but like it's not.
Maybe
that
it's just
long.
because normally I'm the one doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel long to me.
We've switched it up.
Wow. So The Collector is the movie that we're
Collector.
talking about now.
Hoo-hoo.
This movie is
Hoo boy.
Yeah.
this movie's a lot. Like if you do not enjoy the torture porn genre, then like this movie is not the one, because I mean,
it's not necessarily torture porn,
but it has those elements that like
you have to
these
be able
films
to
do.
watch Saw in order to watch this.
Yes.
Right.
But it's not like snuff or anything. Like, it's not
No,
actual
no,
torture porn.
no,
There
but-
will be people who misinterpret what we're saying. Like, it's
no,
not
when I say
literal
torture porn, I mean that like sort of exploitation subgenre where like these movies are very gory, gross out, like people getting tortured in creative and terrible ways. That's what I think. That's what I mean by torture porn. I don't mean literal.
I know. I'm just making.
I don't mean.
I was clarifying for you.
I don't mean like iPhone footage of somebody in a dungeon.
You never know.
That is not what we're watching.
Serbian film.
Yeah, no, that's gross.
It is gross.
I will probably never watch it.
Nor should you.
No, definitely
You don't
shouldn't.
need to. It's not like it's a Hallmark
It's
of cinema
not
or
high art,
anything.
really. Just kind of there.
It's kind of a movie. They just made it. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of say what this movie is about, since we did that for Halloweentown. So The Collector is a film about a man named Arkin. That's his name.
Arkin.
Played by Josh Stewart.
And he is working as a handyman for this wealthy family. The father is a jeweler, and he has some like Precious Jones in
what?
Precious Jones.
Has some Bridget Jones' Diary.
He has some precious stones in his safe in the home, and Arkin and his family have fallen on some tough times. His wife owes money to loan sharks, and they're demanding their pay like yesterday. So he decides that while this family is out of town that he does work for and has installed their security, he decides that he's going to go and break into his safe, which he's very experienced at, and steal the gem and sell it so that, his wife and his daughter can be safe. And
So there's few characters in the movie that are represented in like a positive way. I don't think that there's really like any sole character where like that's a good person no matter what. Like I guess the child.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I was
children.
gonna say the kid.
But even then, like it's just a kid. Like of course.
I don't know though. She banged on the window at the wrong time.
Jesus Christ. But
She was really brave though.
No,
I
she
gotta-
was.
She was. She's great.
But as far as like the actual like adult characters, the father is kind of like, the mother's kind of like with the Botox, and the daughter is
Not
like.
to say that Botox is bad, but she.
Well, Botox is bad.
I mean, not to say if for you, yes,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't
No,
think
I'm not
that people.
judging
Also,
as a
like,
personal
she names
level.
her wrinkled Jill, which is her daughter's name, and then gets rid of it via
Yes,
Botox.
I was getting there. I was getting there.
Ooh, I
You're
didn't
right.
I was
I was
getting
just
that.
saying, like, the act of Botoxing yourself doesn't make you a bad person.
I mean, it makes
No.
it means you make bad decisions.
It's
but
not good for your health, I don't
no,
think.
not at all.
No,
But no, and so like at the beginning of the film, I had already seen it, but you guys hadn't seen it, and so like the instant snap judgments were like, Arkin's creepy, Arkin's awful, Arkin's this, Arkin's
I mean,
that.
he is creepy.
But what the film does so well is like the circumstances are so fucked that by the end you're rooting for the character, where you're like, this was the skeevy guy who was trying to rob this family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how fucking insane the movie is. Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when he tries to rob these people is a killer has broken into the house, prevented the family from leaving, and has laid a variety of gruesome traps throughout the house.
I said before, I'm like, it's kind of like a demented Home Alone.
It is, and I want to talk about that a little bit because if you don't know, I've probably talked about it on other episodes for sure, but I hate Home Alone. I think it's terrible. I don't like it at all. I struggle to find redeeming qualities
Do you
in
like
Home
the
Alone.
Donald Trump cameo?
That's
No,
Home
I
Alone
like
2
that-
Lost
I
in New
like
York.
I know.
I like that less than I like Home Alone as a unit. But what I love about this movie is because it is like a demented Home Alone. And it recognizes the thing that Home Alone fails to recognize, which is that Kevin is a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a little shit, and he relishes in like maiming these people, even if they are burglars. Like, he very well could just like call the police. You know,
You can hole up in a
like,
room, you know, call
anywhere.
them.
But no, he lays these elaborate and menacing like traps for them. And that's what this man does. And he's very, very upfront. The movie's very clear. Like, this is an evil thing that he's doing. He has no reason to do it. He just wants to, and he likes it. And this movie's better than Home Alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty fair to say.
It would have been great if the collector at the end reveal was that it was just Macaulay Culkin.
That's what I was saying. I was like,
That
wouldn't
would
it
be
insane if that happened?
amazing.
That would be awesome.
I
But the-
mean, there's
That'd be so fun if they did that. Sorry. I just got really
No,
excited
my
about that
headphones just
idea.
said something weird, but I think it was because like it's fine.
Oh,
We're
okay.
good.
Somebody's
what-
phone just go off?
sorry.
I'm judging.
I'm sorry.
Bridget's like, I'm sorry, I'm so
Boo.
popular and that people want to text me.
I hate that. I hate that. I hate not you, but that
The
Which
phone.
the text.
I'm sorry.
It's bad.
Tisk.
Tisk.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Bridget?
I don't even remember now.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll say what I was going to say then.
Okay.
Go
The
for
idea of the collector was actually originally conceptualized as a prequel to the Saw series, but when the script came to, Lionsgate decided to take it in a different direction and not attach it to the Saw series. And as a result, they ended up creating this character who's got similarities to like a Michael Myers type, but is very like insect-like in his eyes and the way he
Yeah.
goes about everything. He's kind of like a spider or some sort of like predator of some kind but the reason why it's specifically a bug is because if you saw him out in the daytime and he wasn't in his getup, he's not very imposing.
Right.
He's like kind of like he's scary in the sense of like when you realize what he really is, but he's like a sneaker hit, you know? He's like the Black Widow that snuck into your house.
Yeah.
Quite
And like
literally.
very calculated. Like, he's not just running around hacking people. Like, he's thought about this.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally the most elaborate traps. I mean, far more elaborate than even like the Saw series. Like the whole house is booby traps.
Yeah. And like in very creative and disturbing ways.
Yeah, I mean,
And I mean, just this character is like really scary in like a way that like, because we're kind of used to what a slasher looks like, they don't tend to scare us that much anymore. At least I don't think. Like, you don't watch Halloween and you're like, man, Michael Myers is gonna get me tonight. But
I do love it though.
well, yeah, I love it too, but it doesn't have that same like, because we're so accustomed to the slasher genre, like slashers don't hold that same kind of like weight.
Yeah.
But this guy does. He's creepy as shit.
He's kind
And
of
his
like
fucking eyes and like the mask that he wears. Ooh,
And like
I
his
don't like it.
mouth.
he makes the Hellraiser movies. He makes the Hellraiser movie I wanted to make. Like I wanted to see, like actualize, like the way he, especially like we won't talk about later film, but he's very elaborate in many ways
Yeah.
with his traps and with, his creatures,
Yeah.
his roaches. Very Hellraiser-like, but like so intense. There's no jokes. There's no like weird, like the BDSM thing is like really low. He only has like that weird mask,
Yeah.
but it's not something draped over the entire film, and it's not like hypersexualized. He just wears a creepy ass mask that most people fuck in.
Right. And I mean, I think that the mask is more like an identity concealer
Yeah.
than it is
Or like
a sexual thing. Like it doesn't, like none of what he's doing feels sexual, and that almost makes it worse.
He gives off like the vibe of impotence.
Yes.
Because he's
Absolutely.
so frustrated when he's called gay and like a fag.
Yeah,
and stuff.
whenever Arkin like dogged on him like that, he
Yeah.
really got a rise out of him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
I
clearly
would-
like trapped in a boyhood state.
Yes.
right. I would almost argue that the mask is not only does it hide his identity, but also he takes on a new identity when he puts it on. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it like gives him confidence to do all
Like
these
Bane, right?
heinous things.
Like Bane, sure, why not? Except Bane needs it to breathe, but hey.
Or like
Yeah, but
I was
Michael
gonna say, isn't it like
Myers.
Bane is quite possibly like the worst example.
No, but isn't there a thing about Bane and the mask in that movie?
No. He uses it to breathe.
No, but I thought.
I was,
or
But
just
I
like
feel
like
like in the Dark Knight
Michael
Rises,
Myers.
Bane has a thing about like the mask. Like he has like a monologue.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was
about
born
like,
in the mask.
I was born
or
in the
something.
mask. Yeah, but it's not like his identity isn't his mask. Though he literally.
I kind of
does
feel
use
like
it to
Bane's
breathe.
identity is his mask.
Especially not in the comics either. Like it's more about like the juice he's pumping into his body.
I'm speaking specifically about the Dark Knight Rises here.
Then it's still not that.
Okay, well that's
You're
fine.
definitely- that was a miss for sure.
I was just conflating the speech. I think
Yeah, I got you.
it just reminded me of that. I don't know. I'm very tired. I'm free associating all over the
I
place.
think Batman would have been a better example, like a creepy Batman.
a creepy Batman.
Because Batman does take on a different personality when he's Batman.
Yeah,
That's
he
true.
does.
He's actually, like I said, you use like the worst example from the Batman universe because Bane needs it to live.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, God.
I'm sure the collector would say he needs it to live.
No, I don't think he would.
I was not being serious. I was fucking around.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry.
He needs it to kill.
He does need to kill. I think
There's,
that's-
I know the movie's really good, but there's some really weird shots that I feel like don't need to exist in it. Mainly the lightning strike shot.
Yeah, I don't quite.
Do you remember it? It was like in the rain clouds and it just came down and struck lightning. I was like, this feels like a McG movie right now.
Yeah, like for what?
And I don't know why he did it, but I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like I
I
like to look
mean-
at lightning. I wasn't upset, but
It was just kind of like, why did we do that? Like,
And I mean, I think that like in the beginning of this movie, it like has a campiness about it.
oh yeah,
that
for
I
sure.
that I kind of like.
Me
Yeah.
too.
But then like it sort of loses all of that.
because frankly, even though how ridiculous the traps are, the character of the collector is
Yeah.
too fucking scary
yeah.
for you to be like, this is campy. Like a horror movie like Cry Wolf. I don't want to get into specifics, but it has a killer in it where it matches the campiness of the whole film. The killer's like scary, but
Yeah.
not like so scary you don't buy like the teen bullshit. With this,
Yeah,
you're
and it
instantly
almost,
like, I'm fucking terrified of this
and it
man.
almost makes me wish
Yeah.
that like the movie had played the beginning a little bit more straight, just because it kind of. Like,
I don't
is
know
weird.
though. I argue that it caught you guys off guard. You guys, I have a feeling that it snuck
I-
attack you too, because you guys were kind of like vibing with it, but just kind of chilling when you were first watching it. And then when that twist came, I saw horror across both your faces.
It
Yeah,
very
I
much is like
actually-
it's a very scary movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not somebody who normally gets scared of like slashers and everything. More like ghost movies and paranormal movies get me way bad, but this one fucking got me good.
I think
Like,
it's,
I'm not-
I think it's because the collector himself is like kind of paranormal in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like he's like
just-
an insect
Yeah.
man.
Well, and it's
Like-
almost like superhuman the way that these traps come together.
Yeah.
and the
Like
way
throughout the movie, I was like, when did you have the time to set all this up? Like, this is so elaborate.
He planted
Any-
the
anything
bugs
that's
and
like-
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
anything that's like invading your space like that so secretively is just terrifying.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, I'm not going to go home and like check my house for booby traps. Like, that's not the kind of scary it was. But when I was watching it, I was like so on edge and like
Yeah.
very tense. And
Like when
And-
people would run freely, usually when you're running from the killer, there's almost like a sense of like they're gonna get away, like they're away.
And you're like,
but
no.
with this, you're so worried about what they might step onto or run into that you're more afraid of them running from him than you are of them trying to fight
Right.
him, even though he's physically imposing to them.
Especially with like the one time that they did run. So outside of the house when Arkin was going, there was a dog, and like he was kind of caught off guard by the dog, which kind of made you think like, oh, like maybe that's not their dog, maybe that's somebody watching the house. Like
Yeah,
we just
I was
kind of
like, where
wrote
did
it
this
off.
dog come from?
Yeah, we just kind
It's
of
a
wrote
great
it off.
reveal, though, for
Yeah.
sure.
I think Bridget like said something along the lines of maybe it's the dog that's protecting the house, but
You know, we'll rent a dog.
yeah.
like,
But,
not a thing at all.
But at one point, Arkin gets out and he's running, and that's the fucking collector's dog, and it fucking attacks him.
Actually, I think that was the policeman.
It was the
that
policeman.
Oh, it was
attacked.
the policeman.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was just like, oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
My
but
bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
that was
the dog
fucking
does
terrifying.
come at Arkin in the beginning.
He
Brandon
does,
was
yeah.
so scared, like, looking through the covers. I'm surprised she caught much
Yeah.
of it.
Oh my god, I was holding our dog, and oh my god. Okay, definitely check did the dog die.com
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
for
before you
sure.
watch this, because there's a lot of animal tragedies in
Yeah,
this.
there's a
I
very
felt real
upsetting
bad.
scene
I
with the
didn't warn you
cat.
guys.
Yeah.
I just didn't remember.
It's
There's
okay.
a-
Like it's not your
Yeah,
not
I
your
didn't
responsibility
really think
to
anything
you
of
just
it.
see the credits is directed by Logan. It's like, oh shit. Well, maybe
God,
this
you
is
did
fun.
that, but yeah,
Yeah,
fuck.
it
That
is your
like,
job,
easily-
actually.
That is easily one of the more upsetting movie scenes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough. It's
There's
tough.
like a
Like-
scene with acid on the floor and like a house pet. Like it's
Yeah, and like as
Oh
a
my god.
as an owner of a little black cat who I love more than anything in the world except for my other cat, like it was
What
very
about me?
upsetting. Yeah, and Bridget too. It was just like the most upsetting scene. I was literally like sitting there
Yeah.
and I was like yelling. I was like,
And
no,
I've had black
no,
cats, you know,
no.
for my life. I had one for like 17 years. We had another cat that was problematic. Like we've had
Yeah.
black cats too.
It's so
So
upsetting.
you just instantly relate. And the worst part is like I thought back on it. Like at one point I hear Bridget go, "That looks exactly like such and such's cat."
Like
and
my
then
cat.
you saw
Yeah.
that cat just. Did you say your cat?
No,
I swear.
yeah, her other cat.
My
Yeah,
the
her
cat that lives
cat.
with
You
my
said it
parents.
oddly then. You said
New Year.
Oh, okay.
New Year,
That's right,
yeah.
okay.
This
I
is
thought you
Dane.
meant Smokey.
If
New
you have
Year.
any questions about that, I can address it later. But you know.
But she said that, and then the cat is just brutally fucking executed.
yeah, and it's
I'm
terrible,
like, wow,
and it's
yikes.
upsetting, and like
I didn't see it because I was hiding my head and
Yeah.
I plugged
And,
my ears.
like,
But that's
I cannot-
another good
The scene
character.
is so-
That's another good character moment for Arkin, like his whole character arch, because he goes out of his way to try to help that cat too, and he definitely
Yeah.
didn't need to.
And the thing is, too, is like the scene is so shocking, but actually the effects in that scene are pretty bad because
Yeah.
they couldn't like use a real cat stuck to
well,
something.
yeah.
But like it's so shocking, you
Like, I
don't even
didn't-
notice how bad the effect
I
is.
couldn't look at it.
You
like,
kind
it
of
was
want
too
it
upsetting.
to. You want the graphics to be bad in that
Yeah.
moment.
Right.
You don't
I
want
just
it
thought
to feel
I just
too
thought it was
realistic.
interesting that it still was so effective when like
Yeah, I could not look at
Like-
it.
like for me
I
I had
also
seen the
couldn't
movie
look
and I
at it.
remembered it right as it was happening. I was like, this scene doesn't look as good as the rest of the
Also,
movie.
like the most one of the more affecting parts about that scene too is like the sounds, like the cat yelping
Yeah,
sounds. It's
harsh,
like it's very
harsh.
very upsetting.
Harsh.
And
And,
like,
like-
if you were a person whom animal death upsets greatly, like I cannot caution you enough. It's
Like,
upsetting.
this whole
Please.
series. Yeah.
Because there's
This whole
also
series.
something with the dog later, like the collector's
Yeah.
dog and a fire, and it's
A trash
Yeah, I am
can.
seldom
It's
serious, but I'm
upsetting.
being serious now.
Yeah. No, seriously. Check doesthedogdie.com and
Yeah, you
read
should.
it up.
Or
Like-
I
At
mean,
least, like,
and for
I
more
cannot
than
promote them.
for more than that too. Like, there's a lot of fuck shit that happens in this movie, and like, if you have a very specific trigger, like, it's probably in here.
And here's the thing, people
Yeah.
are treated
Yeah.
so fluidly, like in
Yeah.
the way that they're tortured in this. Now, that's not to say that the movie is like in bad taste. I think the movie is exceptionally well made. I think that
Yeah.
the scenes are really great. The green outlets and like the basement really kind of highlight, like it's really well directed. And I don't think it's just like absolute shock value, but there are things in this movie where people are really treated like end scene moments. Like they're treated to cap off one scene to another. They're murders, they're
Yes.
tortures. It's really a tough movie to watch if
And-
you can't watch that kind of stuff.
And I mean, I think of this movie as it really is like a genre film.
Yeah.
And I think of like this specific like torture horror genre as sort of like equivalent to like an exploitation film.
like body horror. It's like
Yeah,
a lot
like
of
body horror films.
Which is what
Like,
which is
and
like,
I think of
that's-
that as being similar to like, you know, like a sexploitation film or like a blaxploitation film. Like this is just like a body horror film and it's an exploitation film to me. And like that like gritty like grossness, like to me what epitomizes that genre is like the tabooness of it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like, oh, this is gross, we shouldn't be doing this. And so I think like if you think about it in terms of that genre, this is like a standout in that genre.
And the thing that I thought was so interesting about this movie, like obviously we talked about how it's supposed to be like a part of the Saw series originally.
Yeah.
I think Saw is a body horror mystery thriller, whereas this is a body horror action thriller. This
Yes,
is
for sure.
Good point.
These
For
movies
sure.
are filled with that's like Die Hard level action in some
Yeah.
scenes. Like there's
And
explosions and jumping around on chandeliers and fist fights and
especially like we're not talking about it now, but the second movie even more so.
Yeah.
The second
Yeah.
movie is bonkers.
yeah, it's the most wild sequel you'll ever see.
Yeah.
We're gonna review that next time. So
Yeah.
it's on the docket. But
Yeah, we didn't want to do them together because like
That's a
these
lot.
are movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, these
that's
are
a
movies
lot.
that like not everybody wants to watch.
These are
like, this
niche
is,
as fuck.
we
This
also
is not everyone's cup of tea, and so
Yeah.
we don't want to alienate people
We
by doing a
also
whole episode.
like to give you guys some levity too. Like a lot of our more serious movies, like Prisoners, for example, we pair with like Scooby Doo.
yeah.
You know,
When in doubt, you just pair it with Scooby Doo.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much
Correct.
that's what we do. Yeah, that's very accurate, I think.
probably the most. There's a lot of good scenes in this movie, but I think the one that unsettled me the most was at one point, the oldest daughter, she's coming back to the house and she doesn't know any of this is going on. And her and her boyfriend are like getting it on and like they're like laying
Who
there.
looks 45 years old?
Yeah.
And
He's
also like he's on meth.
skeevy boy.
Ugh.
But they're laying there and like she like is like bent over a thing and like she's like laying back
An
and
island,
she looks
I think.
a kitchen island and she like looks over and this creepy motherfucking collector's just in the corner like crouched down watching them. Oh my fucking
Licking
god!
his fucking
Licking his
lips.
It's
fucking
disgusting.
gross rat hole mouth.
But to be fair, though, would it be just as creepy if he broke out like a little chapstick and like right
yes.
there?
God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe his lips were chapped and that's all the only.
I
the only
didn't
option he
like
had.
it. No, he did that for icky reasons.
That scene
also, she was
too-
titties out.
Yeah.
just to
Just that
give you
whole
a
scene
picture.
where she and her boyfriend are coming home is like very intense.
Oh, and Arkin is like trying so hard to like
Alert
signal
her,
them
yeah.
any possible way to not come in.
And there are so many scenes where it like they almost trigger a trap and then don't, and it reminds me
Yeah.
of like, and like the whole time I kept thinking about when you would play Wii Sports in golf and you would almost hit the hole and they would go like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just like that the entire time.
The
I was like,
fucking
"Ugh."
tension.
Tension
like,
is drawn
yeah.
really well
Yeah.
in this
Yeah,
film.
it's very
for sure.
absolutely.
I like all the weird like in between transitional the shots he did with this movie too. Like there's one where you see them like driving a path and it's just like kind of like weird and like
Yeah.
abstract almost. He does a lot of like weird abstract shots.
I like that stuff.
I like it
Yeah.
too.
But I
Me
do have an
too.
issue with some of it. I like the driving scene up to the house. I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, it was different.
The way it's all like foggy and
Yeah.
stuff. But I don't like when he has interruptional scenes sometimes that are like out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, and I get that that's like clearly the cinematographer and the director had a lot of cool ideas.
yeah.
And like for instance, like the green basement, I can't emphasize enough, is troubling to look at.
And that's
in a
also kind
good
of cool
way.
too
Yeah.
because it gives you kind of bearings of where you are because
Yeah.
they don't always make it known when they're in the basement. Like you don't
Yeah.
always see them ascend stairs.
Yeah, and I think that this director, I think he directed both films. He does a better job at tracking his movies than some other, directors.
Yes.
Where like you can pretty much draw a map of both the house and then like later locations in later films. And that's all fine and dandy, but then we'll get like one of like rain pattering a window when like literally he was just being like chased. I'm like, I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Let's move along.
Yeah, it does have some weird cuts in it.
It's
I think, at
definitely
times.
it definitely exists in the year it was made. Like
Yes.
like that kind of editing, like especially the beginning, like the Trivia Murder Party style editing.
Yes.
Like
Which
Bridget
I-
pointed that out.
I was
It's
gonna
so funny.
say I want credit for that because I did say it.
Before
and I
I,
thought it was
even
a
got
good
done
one.
giving you credit, you're like, I need credit for that. But no.
Logan said something
Like you have
really
to cite
good
your
too when we
sources, sir.
Logan said something really good when we finished this movie too, which was like it's like got the Saw element of like the torture and the body horror, and it's got sort of this like actiony element as well. But then it also has this like very like Tarantino-y vibe.
Yeah, there's definitely like vibes that this film was directionally
Bless you.
significant. Like there were choices made in an artistic way. There is like literally a Marcellus Wallace wannabe.
Yeah.
There is the bondage mask. There is
Yeah.
the coloring of certain scenes.
The jarring, like, different way of shooting things.
And then, like,
and even those quick cuts are like very.
And Madison pointed out the guy trying to be Sam Jackson as well. The Marcellus Wallace character, literally trying to be Sam Jackson.
Yeah, and so like, and like I think that we were talking about this too. Like a lot, like most torture scenes now just kind of evoke Reservoir Dogs because it's like so classic. But like especially that scene where he comes down and he sees the dad just in this chair and he's like screaming. Yeah, I was like very Reservoir Dogs. And
absolutely.
So that's like
I'm
kind
fucking deformed.
Right, exactly. Like that's what it like drew to mind for me immediately. And I think that kind of says something about what I was saying about this movie as an exploitation movie, because that's kind of what Quentin does all the time. That's like his wheelhouse. That's all the movies he makes.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, it's just really interesting. Like, because this movie is really off-putting and it got a lot of bad reviews and I understand that, but I think you have to think of this movie in a different way.
Yeah.
Like you have to watch this movie like you're watching a Grindhouse movie, which is that you're not, you're thinking about it differently.
And there's elements where there's so much like heat grain on the film, like on the movie. Like it's even shot like an indie. Like it really is. Even though it's a big budget film, it's a landscape film. It's shot like an indie.
Yeah, it's shot like a gritty, like gross.
Yeah, I mean
at times kind of shitty, like indie movie.
Yeah, like there's a lens flare that I bitched about because it looked bad. It looked bad. I'm like, J.J. Abrams would never. Like,
yeah, and like despite like the really like cool coloring and like the cool way the scenes look, sometimes they just look a little shitty, and like but it's part of its charm.
Yeah, no, I think the picture as a whole, it does more good differences than bad choices. Like there's definitely things that other horror movies wouldn't do, and some of them are like, I really wish we wouldn't have done that, but most of them are like, oh, I'm so glad they did something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the character of the collector is just like they really nailed it with the creepiness. Like there's very few killers that I find really that creepy in like a movie. He's very imposing in the least like physically imposing way possible.
Yeah, and I mean, and and I was reading reviews for this movie, and it's like interesting to me that it got bad reviews. And I think in terms of this genre, like a body horror torture movie, you can do a hell of a lot worse. And this movie is actually like a standout in terms of plot and like how it makes you attached to the characters and really building suspense. Like it's not just like it's gross because it's a gross movie, and like we set out to make a gross movie, and they did.
Yeah.
But it's not like gross for no reason.
Yeah, no, everything's very intentional, and like I said before, the action in it really stands out.
Yeah.
Like you very rarely, I mean, maybe like Evil Dead, right? Like there's some horror movies with like really fucking popping action.
It's also
this one totally did it.
It's also a bit of a sensory overload too, because there's so much action, there's so much gore.
Yeah, these movies were great to see in a cinema because of how much like sensory, auditory things there were with the film.
And something I felt for both this film and for the second one, which we watched tonight, it like really felt like being in a haunted house, like being in a really good haunted house.
Yeah.
For sure. As somebody that used to work in a haunted house, for sure.
And I love a good haunted house. And like there were a lot of tricks that this movie used that like haunted houses do all the time, like the flashing lights. And then like
or just
the way that the collector moves through these like flashing lights is really cool, like very classically haunted house.
He's kind of a spider, and like each of the locations in which all these things happen, because it always happens in the standard location.
Yeah.
Is like his web.
Yeah.
Like like he's literally like an insect. And he crawls
and
in
to,
and
like,
you don't
trap
see him.
And ensnare.
Yeah, exactly.
At the haunted house I worked at, there is this guy that could like, which he reminded me a lot of like the way the collector moves. He could like back bend. He was like a very like scrawny guy, and he could like back bend and crawl on walls and shit.
Yeah.
Like anything body horror like that and like that kind of environment is so fucking scary.
His demeanor and like his posture is like bad. Like he walks around like he's like a 45-year-old dude who works at IBM.
Right.
But yeah,
which is terrifying.
Yeah, but yeah, because when he gets to you, it's like a snap difference.
Yeah.
And it's like that's because he's so comfortable walking around the scenario. It's like he's like slouching and everything.
Yeah, like that's what we were we were talking about that too. Like he doesn't need to be fast because he's got all these fucking traps laid, and
this is the one horror movie where like all these slashers are. Why does the killer go so slow? Right. But now you have the idea that there's all these traps in the way, and he's just being careful not to activate one of his own traps.
And also, like, too, like, this is his game, and, like,
He wants to savor it.
You know, yeah, it's more fun when you have to try.
And God, whenever he smiled, we would all just yell like yuck.
You'd be like,
We'd just
no.
be so disturbed. Because like also the mask is the whole. Oh yeah, the whole movie. The director did this for I think both movies pretty much, but especially the first one. They try to make as much off center as possible, including his mask.
Yes,
his
it is
mask
not
is
correct.
literally off center, and that's just to make you feel uneasy the whole time. Like the bank safe is like leaning slightly to the right,
And like lamps are like
the
not
air
on
vent
straight.
is leaning slightly to the left. Everything's uneven, and it's just really fucks you up. And
It almost feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
his gait is uneven.
Yeah.
The collector.
And then too, like with you mentioned the shoes. I don't think he stands completely natural. I think he might
He's
have
a little
like
bit, yeah.
I think he like has
I
a longer leg.
Because I for a minute thought that he was wearing 2 different shoes.
Yeah, because I got another look at him in the sequel, and I was like, he does stand almost like one leg is higher than the other.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird.
And that's like repeated throughout. Like there's so much of stuff like that. Like for instance, Arkin has his hand crushed, and right away we have somebody who's not even on both ends. He's maimed on one side.
Right.
And then the same
Yeah.
thing goes with like the not the little girl, the never mind. I can't remember what I was talking about.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. But the whole point is like the whole film is like completely Dutch angled.
Yeah,
in a way.
it's all, like,
a
off-kilter.
Joel Schumacher Batman.
It's all off kilter a little bit.
Makes it really fucking
Yeah.
hard. Like I said, I think especially you guys, 'cause I had seen it before, but even me, like we were all pretty affected to
Yeah,
the point
that
where
was
we,
sure.
Absolutely.
we
You
weren't
know-
gonna watch the second one tonight, but we're like we have to watch it because
it's a
he
good-
needed the continuation.
You know, it's a good horror movie too. Like especially of the like slasher genre when you're like yelling at the TV.
Yes. Everybody was really upset and
Yeah.
yelling things at it. And
Yeah, and everybody's like yelling at the main character of what to do.
It definitely like sensory overloaded me. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't watch like a lot of it. I just kind of held my dog.
Yeah.
which is weird because Franny usually just does not care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, like I love a good Rob Zombie movie. Like I don't care about people getting cut up and shit. Like that doesn't normally bother me. But I think it was just all the little like things that the director did to really get under your skin, like the off-centerness, the way the guy moved, like it just struck a fucking nerve. I almost couldn't watch the second one.
There's like a great scene in here with like all those bear traps.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And I
fucking
love
god.
that.
I want to make like a series of shorts where it's the collector preparing things. Like I want to see him
Right.
at the store buy
Right.
30 bear traps. I want to see him hooking up the nice chandelier.
Well, yeah, and I was like thinking about it too. I was like, how much does a bear trap go for?
That's a good
I
question.
want to see him doing
Google,
this
I'm
fast.
gonna Google it right now.
Yeah, and like yeah, because I mean he has to do it fast, and that's what's
Yeah.
crazy to me. It's like, how did you do this?
It
Where'd you get
really-
time?
Hopefully this doesn't put me on some kind of list.
It really ignited my irrational fear of bear traps.
But the entire time of the scene, I was literally thinking about actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but
Yes.
like,
we are.
my leg, it's caught in a bear trap. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
They're $199.50.
Okay, so like,
But if you get multiples, if you get 2 or plus more units, they're $195 a piece.
wow.
Oh,
So this
that
means
whole
that like
four.
this dude like it spent like there were at least 10. So this means this man spent like $2,000.
There were more than that even.
But not to like spoil things, but there is an explanation laid out to like the ability for him to do these things.
Right.
What is the explanation?
Well, I don't want to spoil the second review, so I'll just say it then, or I'll say it to you off the thing.
Okay, because I mean, like we learned it by the end of this movie what this guy's like job is.
Yeah, air quotes job, yeah.
Yeah, like
Right.
he's an exterminator, but exterminators don't make that kind of money.
Well, yeah, and also he's planting the bugs to then infiltrate said house to do
Right,
what
but then
he
you gotta
wants.
buy your bugs, so like you can't be making any money.
Yeah, but we'll explain it.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe
Yeah.
I just missed it.
It's actually really simple. It's just if I say it, they'll instantly understand things. So
I see,
It's
okay.
like when I say it, like, oh, that makes sense. Like so
Fair
simple.
enough.
Do you guys want to hear that my first haunted house story that I was gonna
No,
say
no, I'm just kidding. Go
during
ahead.
Oh, I
the
would love it.
movie?
Do it.
Madison already knows. I told it to her on our second date,
I would still love it. Our second date was a haunted house, by the way.
and I feel like very surprised that I was like comfortable enough to tell you this, considering we were not actually dating at the time. Were we? Or was it our first
we were
actual
dating.
date?
We were going on dates, but we weren't boyfriend girlfriend yet.
Right. So my first haunted house was very shortly after, because I was hospitalized the first time in October. And so it was very shortly after I exited hospital with a whole new med regimen, and suddenly I didn't think that there were people living in the basement with me at my aunt's house.
Imagine that's good.
I was no longer like super paranoid. It was great. It was wonderful.
What?
I feel like if they don't know you, that's the most insane fucking thing ever said out loud. I think you need to dig a little. You need to just re-explain just a little bit.
Okay.
Because otherwise, they're like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" Yeah.
So, when I got very, very bad, mental health wise, my junior year of college, and I was in an abusive relationship, and I was just spiraling, and my meds were off, and I was not getting enough anxiety medicine, among other things. And I was convinced that there were people living with me. And I wasn't always convinced this. It was mostly at night. I was just like half paranoid. I was like, there are
Like
people.
one of those fears that you know is irrational, but you're still scared.
Oh yeah. Every single time I go into the bathroom, I slap that shower curtain right open.
Right. It was
I always
that,
used to book it up the stairs at my parents' house because I was convinced that like the demon was following me.
I thought you didn't run.
I didn't run, but I went as fast as I go. I am not a runner.
But I mean, like, I knew like during the light of day that there was nobody, because like there was a big like laundry room at the back of the basement, and my bedroom was in the basement. And so it was, I mean, in my mind, I guess it was feasible that somebody could, in fact, be living in the laundry room. I don't think they would want to.
Wow, that's really something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why making sure your meds are regulated is really important, kids. Anyway, shortly after I had this fear, I was hospitalized for about a week. And then they changed my meds, and I was like, holy shit, this is not happening. Like,
they all moved out.
they packed their bags, they're gone.
On the road again.
But
baby, we're out on the road again.
And so, like, it was very, very bizarre to me because, like, my fear level went exponentially down I mean, like, to, I guess, a normal person's fear level. And so my good friend at the time was like, oh my God, we need to go to this local haunted house. We have to go. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll go. And I was really worried about being, like, really fucked up about it because I had this paranoia. And
not paranormal.
Not paranormal, no.
I think those guys are following me. It's just like two ghosty boys like creeping up behind you.
With their suitcases.
Yeah. We just wanted to say goodbye before we left town, Bridget. It was good talking to you. Good. Thank you for letting us live in the walls. We're going to go ahead and hop on the train. They just like have like the hobo sticks and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll be seeing you in the new millennium, girl. Goodbye. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Like, why are these ghosts like 50s radio announcers?
I loved it, though.
I'll never do it again. It dies
I love
here.
it.
The meme died just... No, I'm just kidding.
That was beautiful.
From now on,
I just thought it was funny that that's who they were.
I feel like they needed to be upbeat, or it was going to like reenact some sort of trauma for you.
Yeah.
It needed to be somebody real friendly.
And like, yeah. But okay, so I go to this haunted house thinking I'm gonna be fucking like terrified. I was gonna be fucked up. I was gonna like, it was gonna be the worst experience.
1 second. Stop texting me about the car while we're doing the podcast. What are you doing?
That was way earlier during the break. Did you just get that message or something? My phone sucks.
I'm like, you're rude.
No, the last thing I looked at my phone was something about the collector.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't fight.
I was feeling like that was rude.
Mom,
was
Dad, don't fight in front of the kids.
I just didn't want to interrupt your story.
I have a piece of shit phone. Yeah. Anyways,
I was just fucking around, guys.
You just like saw behind the curtain like so hard, like, what are you doing?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Those guys from the Fist are like, yikes, we better get out of here, boyo. Things about to get ugly. And they just run away.
But yeah, so I think I'm gonna be like terrified by this. I was like, you know, I'm gonna be like so scared. It's gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna have nightmares. I get there. And this place is like, they go all out. It's
a very famous haunted house.
It is a very famous haunted
maybe
house.
around here, but like I never heard of it.
No, other
before.
places too.
Really?
It's like,
I had never heard of it before.
Yeah, it's like consistently voted one of the
You're
top
gonna have to tell me
haunted
after.
houses in the
I'm
country.
sure I'll remember, but yeah.
Yeah. And so I go and I'm just like, wow, this is just happening. Like, somebody jumps out at us, and I'm like, oh, hello. Yeah.
Shake his hand and shit.
Well, yeah, because like this is the fear level you've been living with for your like
Right.
past few months. So,
But like, I really expected to be so fucked up, and I get in there, and I'm just like, hey guys, how's it hanging?
so
Like,
I feel like then when we went to that same haunted house like a year later, I feel like that was really your real
you already
experience.
yeah, it really
because
was.
it was spooky.
It was spooky. It was like the actual level it was supposed to be, instead of me being like just getting used to these new beds and being like, oh yeah, that's a dead body. Hello. Yeah, zombie. Hey.
I got a good Pam story.
Oh yeah.
On
Do it.
house related.
Oh yeah.
So my brother, you know, he was a youth, and he did youth things like we lived near Chicago, very close to it, and we kept trying to go to these haunted houses because he wanted to go to one, and for some reason or another, like they'd be closed, or like it was like right around Halloween, or they'd be too full. And she's driving around the Chicagoland area like crazy, screaming at people trying to get him into a haunted house, and at one point. We walk up to a haunted house. Brandon gets in. It's like 14 plus, so I can't do anything because I'm like a little babe. Tiffany won't go in. So me too.
He went by himself.
Yeah, he went in by himself.
Aw.
He was one of those guys. And there was this clown on stilts, like a creepy clown. Pam is like talking to us and like opening up like snack packs and whatnot. And she bumps into this clown and knocks him to the ground.
I love that.
That's so funny.
And she's so apologetic, and the dude's like laughing, and he's like, I shouldn't have been standing there.
God.
Like,
I love
He
that.
was literally coming up to like try to scare us, and she bumped into his ass and
That's
knocked him to the
hilarious.
floor.
Jeez. I worked at
Wow.
a haunted house in rural Kentucky for years.
Yeah, I worked at it with you at one point,
Yes.
and it was
It was fun. I enjoyed working at a haunted
Sure.
house.
I love a good haunted house.
I
Me
didn't-
too.
well, it was fine.
You don't like them?
No, I like haunted houses. Fine.
I like them.
I like haunted houses a lot, actually.
What?
Nothing.
I thought that something was happening.
I had an interesting experience at that particular haunted house.
Oh, okay.
That's all. I don't want to like out anybody. That's all I gotta say.
That's fine.
Not Franny related. Other people related.
I feel like you're talking for a minute. Like my fear was like he's talking about us, but like I'm like,
What the
why would that even be?
It's like I'm trying so hard to make sure I don't go to a haunted house because like they're lame. I don't want to go.
I
with
would
them.
love for us to do a cross-cut haunted house experience.
The
But
only thing
after
is
COVID.
you can't vlog it.
Well, I will say, oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
no,
you
you
can't.
can't.
But
video
what we
in a
are
haunted
gonna
house.
do is go to the Queen Mary in California and stay at that haunted hotel.
Are we?
We could.
We could.
That's kind of expensive. Bridget's hometown has a haunted asylum. And you can spend the night there. And I
There's
think
a
we should do
haunted
that.
bar we can stay at like right by here.
Oh, really?
like
It's like Bob. What is it called?
Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
yeah.
very famous. It's on like Travel Channel.
Yeah,
and
we
shit.
should definitely go to some kind of haunted place. That would be lots of fun.
yeah, we definitely need to talk about the one in my hometown.
A haunted hayride. We could do that. That's COVID safe, but you still can't vlog it.
Yeah, we can't vlog it since we ruined everything. You know.
It's just like the vlog is just the phone at like a very downward angle.
Yeah.
And it's just us
It's-
screaming
yeah,
every
it's
2
just-
minutes.
I like the idea that all four of us are equally scared and screaming. Like Franny's not like totally just gonna sit there and not be scared at all, like always.
Yeah, no. Once you work at something like that behind the scenes for years.
She literally. We've been to haunted house. We went to the. No, wait, that wasn't you. Never mind.
Wow.
That was your other bitch.
Oh,
No,
But I've been to all the ones in the
Yikes.
area too. Got
That
to
was
scout the
yikes.
competition.
I went to Kings Island with people, and that's all I'll say about that. And one of the people I went with, the significant people, was not scared at all, and it was really a bummer. Like every single place we went to, nothing.
There's always one dude who doesn't give a
She was,
shit.
but she was
That was me
trying.
that one
She
year.
was literally trying, and it just wasn't happening. Like I saw her get ready for it. Like let's go get scared, and it's just like, oh hi, hello, and I'm like, you're fucking soulless.
I used to go to that thing because we had season passes to that amusement park, and as I said before on this episode, wow, Kings Island, this is like a sponsor for you.
Yeah.
except you didn't mention the name before.
But Logan did.
No, I know. I was just,
I didn't say it before, but Logan said it, so I feel like I can say it now.
What
But
are
I
we
used
worried
to,
Kings Island's gonna
I
sue
used
us
to
for
go there a lot.
defamation?
Like that was one of the things. When I was in like 8th grade and like early high school and stuff, my parents would like drop me off with my friends and we would go, and they would pick us back up at the end of the night. And fucking my friends were always fucking runners.
I
Because
hate
like
that.
they have people walking around to scare you, and like these bitches will always run, and like of course they're gonna chase you, you dumb cunt.
Yeah.
And
like you were just sick of running. You're like,
and
I just want to stand here.
I'm not a fucking runner. I'd be like, you all can come back here when you're good and ready, but I'm not fucking going. That's what we were talking about during this movie too. I feel like we had to have an audio commentary while we watched this movie to make it not so horrible. And just like we were talking about all the ways that like horror movies, like I know I would die. Because I'm like, I don't run fast. And Logan also goes, you're not very strong either.
I mean, I'm just
I'm
being
stronger
honest.
than
I
her.
helped
That's
you
true.
move.
I'm really
I saw.
not. Like physically, I am nothing to anyone. That's why I have to talk such a big game. Because physically can't do shit.
You're the men who were in the walls. It's you.
It was you.
It was you the whole time.
Yeah, that's great.
Mystery solved, gang.
Yep.
Wow, good job.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I feel like we're verging on possibly speaking about the sequel now.
Yeah.
So let's not do that.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
let's
we talked
give it-
this.
Let's give it our ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this episode has gone to a lot of different places, but all of them spooky. So
Man, and
I
all
like
of them
what's happened here.
Pretty funny in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like we have to do a vlog at like a theme park now because we've talked so much about water parks and theme parks. Like we have to have our own adventure.
Ooh.
That would be fun.
Even though this movie definitely like
I don't know. It just
What's
sounds
happening?
fun.
That's what you say when something
I
sounds
said,
fun.
ooh.
It was
She's
more
like,
like, ooh. They want to go to a theme park with us. This isn't gonna happen.
No.
so even though this
Ooh.
even though this movie stressed me out a lot, I'm shocked that it even did that. I like this movie. I'm gonna give it a 7.
8.5 out of 10, baby.
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
That's tough. What's funny is I really, really like it, like a lot. I even was like the person championing it for us to review it. But I think I'm more in like the 7.5 range.
Yeah, I was like, but kind of like leaning between 7 and 8, and ultimately like I went for the 8 because of like how much it like physically affected me.
Yeah. For a first time watch, like
Yeah.
you're very fresh with it. I feel like I'm a little jaded.
Yeah.
And also, like, I just have such an affinity for the sequel. Listen, I'm not going to outwardly say, like, what I think of the sequel, but I will tell you I think a lot more of it than this one just because of how fucking absolutely bonkers it is.
Yeah, I like the sequel a lot, but I like this movie a lot too. Like it's very like it makes really good use of like the limited space and like cast that it has.
It's better than a majority of, like, the Saw sequels.
Yes,
So if
I
you're a
don't-
Saw fan, you will like this a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you like the earlier Saw movies, like I think kind of after Saw like 3, it kind of goes downhill. But like if
Yeah.
you like those first 3 movies, I think this is a good one.
Also, the kid actress in this is really good.
Yeah, she's actually like surprisingly very good.
You know,
kids
She
are
is.
not.
I'm gonna up my rating a little bit. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
There we go.
All right,
Dang.
Everybody's had thoughts. Everybody's thought about it.
we've all had
Did you
thoughts.
rate it yet, Logan?
7.5.
Okay, gotcha.
The exact same rating. We're in the exact same wavelength right now.
Yeah.
We've all
Hell
had
yeah.
thoughts. We've all thought about them.
All right, so we're going to talk about... Hold on. Actually, I need to check and see what we're doing next, right? Like, because...
Yeah.
The
While
whole-
you check,
Yes.
I'll talk about Twitter.
Yeah, we'll talk about Twitter again. You
Follow
can follow
us.
us there.
Follow us on Twitter at Crosscut Cinema. Tweet at us suggestions, or if you want to shout out, tweet at us and follow us. Follow us. Get on your dad's phone and follow us on his Twitter that he made that he doesn't pay attention to.
Yeah, like if you want to shout out, like literally all you have to do is just follow us and tweet at us, and you can like even tell us what you want us to
Yeah,
say.
like,
Like
we
we'll
We can
say
literally say almost anything.
Yeah, we literally shout out Harry Ass Crack.
And we're not going to change any of the following Halloween films, right? Like, we're going to keep them since we
Yeah,
changed
no,
it
I
that
think we
once.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and listen for you. So right now, we just did The Collector and Halloweentown, obviously. Then we're going to do The Collection, the movie we keep talking about.
Yes.
And the Diablo Cody, like, instant classic, Jennifer's Body.
Love it.
Fuck yes. Sorry, I got really excited.
I jumped. And then we're doing Scream and Tusk.
No, I forgot we were doing Tusk. More,
didn't forget
more
that.
gross out body horror for your
I can't.
Kevin
Halloween
Smith.
needs.
And then we are doing my favorite horror film genre, like, series of all fucking time. We're going to do Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Hell yeah.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, and I my plan is, like, every year we do at least 1 to 2
Halloween
I mean,
movies.
we can even
Yeah.
do 4 and 2 reviews, but I am the #1 Halloween fan. I'll
Yeah.
fight anybody for that title. I know everything,
Hell yeah.
and it's gonna be really fun to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very excited about like the coming October because I mean, we do horror movies, but not like the kind of like Halloween specific horror movies that are like gross and slashery and like. So it's gonna be fun.
We did like some dumb teen slasher movie, and then
I mean, we did Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity, which was a really fun series, and I'm kind of sad it's over.
Yeah,
Me too.
I like doing horror movies with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And when I say you guys, I don't just mean the four of us. I mean you guys, the audience.
The two
Like,
guys.
thanks
in the
for
wall.
going on this
Yeah, them
journey
too.
with us.
Yeah, those two in the wall. We're really
Yeah.
happy to be here too. I should like have them be characters that just
They
occasionally
just pop up.
Is
I
that
know.
bad
love
for your
that.
mental health? I don't
No.
know. Am I regressing things?
Like whenever we
No,
talk about
no,
the
no,
guys
no.
in her walls, I literally always picture like dude from Parasite.
I don't like that.
Like that's who he is to me. Like that's the guy in Bridget's walls. Like because that's my association.
Like I didn't really have a specific like look for him. I just was like, there's somebody with me.
All right, so
There
we got
wasn't.
All right, guys.
So-
I think we've talked this all into the ground.
All right, maybe
yeah.
we should
So like,
I think it's-
like the video.
check us out on Apple. Rate us 5 stars. Check us out on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. If you're listening on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring that
Leave
bell,
comments.
baby.
Talk about the fucking
If you
Disney
want.
Channel original Halloween movies you like.
Yes.
What was the one? My Babysitter's a Vampire. I always
Give
love
us-
that
that's a good one.
Shout
Yeah,
out.
I was thinking
Phantom
about that.
of the Megaplex.
Yeah, so tell us what like Disney Channel movies you
Yeah.
like. Tell us what your least favorite death was.
And
in
I
the
promise you,
Collector.
we'll eventually do Up, Up, and Away. I know we've been
I
promising it
know
for
we've
a
been
year.
talking about it for a long time, but we'll do it eventually.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you.
I'm going to
you.
play it out.
Thanks, man, on our walls.
Spooky.
Happy
Spooky
Halloween,
time.
motherfucker.
We're going to talk about spooky